Hello there, we're live. Okay. Let's see. We live. Hey, gang, how we doing? Gang. What's going on? Now it's time to get it pulled up on my phone. Gotta get those notifications sent out and all that fun stuff. Huh. You can switch your live to members only, that's cool. Making 67 new pocket notebooks. Thought that was kind of funny. Okay. I'm gonna send the link to the Discord.
Here's a quick hack on how to
Sorry, that was loud. Okay, get out of here. Okay, I'm gonna send this to the Discord, and then we're gonna be off to the races. How's everybody doing? Hope you're all doing well. And gonna have to ping everyone again. Everyone, we are live. Bam, bam, boom. Okay. Now let's wait for everybody to roll in, or just start because I'm on a crunch. So, yeah, we're making some new pocket notebooks this time. Once again, let's see. I had done a bunch of work this morning. I have a stack right here. This is the stack that I'll be working from. I counted, then cut all the pages, all the cardstock for the covers. We have approximately 20 green ones, 20 blue ones, and 20 orange ones. Each little ream of paper that I've got, it makes about 20 notebooks. So I'm going to need to get a lot more paper because I'm out of the cream paper. I have basically 39 notebooks worth of white paper, but I'm running out of, or I've actually run out of cream paper. Let's see, Ravens, welcome in, hello. What GSM part are you using? Pat. What GSM? So, the GSM for the paper is 90, and the GSM for the covers is 300. Joyful Pens, welcome in. Dang, cream? Yeah, we're using cream paper. Looks really nice, and it's fountain pen friendly. Joyful Pens, I know you'll appreciate that. Fountain pen friendly, nice choice, thank you. Glad you think so. I thought it was a nice choice myself. I'm going to just set that up somewhere. Oh, that's why I asked. Perfect. Yep, fountain pen friendly, Pat. Are you selling these? Yes, I am. I made a video. Actually, it's only for members right now, but the official release is going to be March 1st. Since you're here on the stream, I'll tell you. The official release is March 1st. So let's roll up the sleeves and get cracking. Can't wait to get some. Do you have a price point? Not yet. Once I get these made, and I'm gonna spend some time with pricing and figuring out how much it costs to get all the supplies and stuff. If I had to give you a rough guess, approximately $5 for a single. But I'm not gonna guarantee anything because I don't want to like set an expectation and then disappoint. I'd rather not set an expectation. So if I want to sell singles, for sure. I also think I want to do like packs of 3, depending. So I think about $5 for a single, and then I want to make it, cheaper than most. That way it's affordable for you guys to get what you need. At the same time, I also want to make money from it. But also, if I don't like profit a whole ton, that's fine because it was fun. But either way, I have this new tool, this fun new toy that I'm going to play with today. Switch cameras, we can see the staple shot. So we're basically going to, I'm gonna staple all these and then I'm gonna trim all of them. What I've been doing is kind of like one station at a time. So I did all the cutting and the measuring and stuff, and now I'm gonna just do all the stapling. Let's see, instead of getting field notes, gonna just order Gare notes. Hey, that's beautiful. And if you do order field notes, don't forget to use my link, because that's a big help. So yeah, do we have a good enough shot of the Now, I'm going to make one and then show you what I'm working with, because I have a few new developments since the last time we hung out. I would get them just for the paper choice, to be honest. Hey, dude, if that is something that you appreciate, then there you go. They're fountain pen, like I said, they're fountain pen friendly, blank pages, cream color. There are some white ones as well. Oh, there's white paper I'm gonna make. I got some pink covers that I'm gonna use. My wife Maddie wanted a pink one, so I got a pack of pink paper. And the cream color didn't look as good with the white paper or with the pink paper, and also Michael's was out of the cream at the time, so. But yeah, this stapler was recommended to me by a member, or by a patron. A patron or just somebody in the Discord, member of the community, and I love it. So can you see good enough? Yeah. This is what's called a booklet stapler. Basically, it allows you to find your apex and staple it straight on and centered every time. Now we're gonna look at that staple job. This is so much better than the ones I made last time. And yes, Joyful Pens pink. Celebrate the pink. So, okay. Notebook stack. I'm going to, let's see, we are here. I'm going to do this one thing before I continue on. I just wanted to show you guys that are here what we're working with. So I've made some new stamps. So first of all, we have the logo, right? The logo gets stamped on the front of all of them. And I've also made a stamp for the back center. So like here, this is the front, this is the back, it'll be back in the middle. It'll say the official GareTheBear Pocket Notebook, and then it'll have the YouTube channel link. And then, for the inside of the cover, for the inside of the front, we have a stamp, name, start, and end. So you're gonna be able to have a spot to write your name, spot to write the start date, and a spot to write the end date. Pretty standard pocket notebook stuff, but still super cool. And then a custom stamp. These are all custom stamps made myself. They have like a set where you can plug in the letters. This last one is for the inside back. This is the specs. Focus. Focus, please. Thank you. Okay. This is the specs. 48 plain pages, 3.5 by 5.5-ish. 100 GSM, or 100 pound, 300 GSM, and 24 pound, 90 GSM, and super cool. Super cool is an important spec, so I had to put that on there. But yeah, and Chris Dopey, hello, welcome in. But I think that's super cool. I'm really excited to get all those stamps put in. I've officially tested the stamps, so like they're solid. Now I just want to put them all in. So it's time to get the stamping. Let's see, I need to trim this first. That could have been bad. I'm going to trim this first one first, and then we're going to lock in on the doing it in order. I just wanted to show you guys this one. I've been getting a lot better at this whole process. I've gotten so much faster and so much more fluid with it since the last time we did this. And it's been really, really good. I made some the other night. I made like, I think 20 or so notebooks the other night. And it was so good. They were so good. Okay. X-Acto knife. Let's see. How has your wife helped you make any of them? No, but she's helped me shop for them, and she's helped me think of ideas for them. Stuff like that. Ivan Romero, welcome in. How you doing? Hope you're good. But yeah, she's been a big help, and if anything, just being supportive of the project, because you know, we had a little last night. It was fun actually. I made a whole bunch, and you know, we were just hanging out in the office. She was playing the Switch. I was making notebooks. It was a good time. Good vibes. But yeah. She's more than welcome to help if she wants to. But anyway. Okay. I ended up with a lot of these little paper trimmings yesterday whenever I was doing this. Bloomin' 2K11, hello, welcome in. Okay. Got that trimmed. And I thought about it, because one of the things I'm kind of leaving some imperfections on purpose, and because objectively they don't really matter so much. But on the tops, I could trim off, like there's a tiny 32nd of an inch. You can't even see, that's fine. I mean, there's less than a 32nd of an inch of paper hanging over. I don't care. And, you know, unless you guys care, I don't really care. And it kind of adds to the homemade feel and also just the aesthetic overall. But we're going to switch to this camera. I'm gonna get the stamps rocking and rolling. Ah! So now I've got the GareTheBear stamp, the back, the inside front, and the inside back. So there's the logo. Wait for that to dry. Paper quality versus design. No chipmunks, welcome in. What are you exactly referencing? I'm not quite sure I understand. All right. How many pocket notebooks have you filled so far, says Bloomin'? Have I filled? Oh, shoot, 60. Let's see, this last one was my 64th, so that's how many I've filled so far. And that's just my daily carry, that's not including my other ones that I use for other things. But I also haven't filled very many others besides my everyday carry, so it works out. And then name, start, end, we'll go up there. Boom. Okay, now we might want to scoot that over just a smidge. I don't know, we'll see. No, I don't know, that kind of works. What do you guys think about the centering of that? There we go. What do you guys think of that on the page? Let me know. Okay. On my lunch break and this live popped up, hey, glad we could be some lunchtime entertainment for you. And then we're gonna punch the specs in here. I mean, if you had to choose between bad design notebook with perfect quality paper or average paper inside a well-designed notebook, that's true. And it's not that the notebook is necessarily poorly designed or anything. It's just a matter of, like, you know, fractions of a fraction of an inch that needs to be trimmed. Oh yeah, that's cool. I like that. Ah. Would you, hold on, trying to get this to focus there. Would you call the cover color Reese's candy wrapper orange? Truthfully, I might just call it orange because I could get in trouble for using Reese's, but hey, I like that. It's very, actually, I don't know if you can even see it, but I do have a pack of Reese's here, so it's pretty accurate. All right, so that's the notebook in its entirety. We have the logo on the cover, and then we have, I just realized we're on the wrong camera, so ha 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 ha. Okay, so we have the notebook on the cover, or the logo on the cover, and we have this on the back, boom. And then the inside cover, we have the name, start, and end. It's very minimalist, I kind of like it. And then we have, in the back, the specs. Look at that. Oh, that's so dope. I love it, I love it, I love it. Let's see, oh man, oh yeah. That's why you asked. Okay, I wasn't sure if you could see it from here. Bloomin' says you're the person that inspired me to start using pocket notebook. Thank you, dude. I'm glad that I'm glad I'm able to inspire people. That's always so cool to hear about you guys being inspired and stuff. What's your favorite pen? The Pilot G2 all day. More specifically, the Pilot G2 07 or the 0.7 millimeter. Dennis says, are we watching the wrong camera? Yeah, I fixed it. Oh well. Oopsie. I need like a verbal cue, right? I need like a system that says switch to camera, and then it'll switch the angle. Turned out really good. Thank you. Yeah, so that's how they're gonna look in their entirety, in their completion. I was originally gonna just do one of those 3 stamps. But then after consulting the Discord and consulting other people, everyone was like, just do all of them. And I'm like, and really in consulting people and also in thinking more about it, it made more sense just to do all of them because it's like, it's really just a matter of funds and buying the other stamps, which if people want the notebooks, then makes it worth buying the stamps, basically. Watching from Italy, Boboli, welcome in. Get that fold right. Thanks for watching from Italy. I appreciate you being here. And again, we're just gonna line this up. Really easy. Bam. And another one. And again, we're just going 2 staples on these because 2 is plenty good. And then I'm just gonna stick them wherever I can find space to stick them, to be honest. I'm just gonna get them all stapled. This is the mission. The mission for today is to basically just finish all these. Because I started them this morning, as I briefly mentioned, and now it's time to finish them. Okay. Watching from Poland, hey! All over the place. Thank you guys for being here, I appreciate it. Especially with the difference in time zone. I mean, here it's 1 o'clock, basically. Oh, got my Use a Notebook stickers just now. Hope you like them, Joyful Pens. Hope you like them. So my next entrepreneurial endeavor is going to be making a lot more stickers on the merch site. I've got probably 20 plus designs that I wanna do, which I'm really psyched about. Blumen says here it's 8 p.m. That's Poland. All right, let's hear where everybody else is. I made some pocket notebooks last night. Ooh, using manila folders as the covers. See, I've thought about that. I think somebody else suggested that. I think it's a really good idea. Time difference is about 7 hours with Europe. Yeah, I know there's certain. I don't know if is it the entirety of Europe, or is it just certain parts that it's different? Because I know there's like, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in the United States we're like one of the only places that does daylight savings time, which I believe it's kind of silly, but because we don't, you know, I think there was a purpose for it at one point, and now that purpose has grown obsolete or something. I don't know the whole story on that. 12 p.m. here in Idaho, USA. Very cool. How much money do you save by making your own notebooks? Well, I haven't used my own one yet. My next notebook, so I'm using Notebook 65. Notebook 66 is one of my customs. And if I did the math, I would save a ton of money more than likely. But I would like to keep most of these for you guys to sell them. Of course, if you want to buy them. The idea with these initially is to sell them, and then obviously, I'm the one that's making them. Ah, shoot, staple got funny. I'm the one that's making them, so I can just steal from the inventory whenever I need. Yeah, that didn't work out. Let's see. Do you sell these notebooks? I am going to. That's the plan. It's just a matter of, you know, getting the inventory built up to the point where I don't run out on the first day. God, it keeps doing that. That's frustrating. Watching from England, 7 p.m. here. Joe, welcome in. And also our newest channel member. Thank you for being here, Joe. There we go. When the staple doesn't cooperate, you just gotta slam it a little bit. Let's see. Great, where do you sell them? So I'm not selling them currently. They'll come out start of March. But they'll be on my merch store whenever they become available. Mega Dad, I also have fun being creative making notebooks. All the best from Norway. Hey, welcome from Norway, Mega Dad. Alden Falk Official, awesome. Hello from Sweden. Hey, hello from the United States. Once again, it's always so neat to see where everybody's from. See where everybody's watching from. One of the things I've adjusted in my method of doing this is folding it from the center as opposed to one of the corners, because folding it from one of the corners can cause the pages to be a little off. Just realized I'm on the wrong camera again. Good gravy. I think I want to adjust this camera actually, because the angle isn't quite where I'd like it. Do a little bit of that and a little bit of that. Well, there we go. That way there's just not so much wasted space on the screen. Did a little update on the angle there. Yeah, so this stapler is so it's built for booklets, which is essentially what I'm making, though it says it has a 20 sheet capacity, which I don't agree with that. So I'm doing more than that. So there's actually 20, see, I gotta give it some more force. It's like 20 something, 24 sheets of actual paper, and that's not including the cardstock. There we go. When in doubt, slam the stapler. Somebody retracted a message, that's okay. So we are locked in. I made a bunch of orange, a bunch of green, and a bunch of blue. Last night I made a bunch of yellow. So now it's just a matter of, whatever it's called. I have the same stapler, Ivan? Nice. It's a nice stapler, isn't it? I really like it. I've been enjoying it so far. They say to use the Boss Stitch staplers, or the staples themselves, but this thing didn't come with any staples, and I already bought a bunch of Walmart staples, so I'm not going to just get rid of the staples. So, I'm using my Walmart staples. Yay! Let's see. Remember, your favorite pen was the S-Gel. Why you switched to the Pilot G2? Well, so back in the day, before I started using the S-Gel, the Pilot G2 was one of my favorites. But I just switched to the S-Gel because they came out. I remember when they came out. And eventually, it was getting to the point I wanted to try them. And so I tried them, and then I was like, wow, these are really cool. I was really a fan of the lack of smearing, because they really pushed that anti-smear technology on everybody, which it does. It's one of the better ones when it comes to the smear test. But nowadays, it's more, I don't really care about the smear. I just like the fullness of the ink of the Pilot G2. Because the Sharpie S-Gel is grand, but it's a little skippy. The ink can dry a little too fast. Shouldn't the paper be a little shorter in length than the cover? That way it'll line up when it's closed. Ideally, yes, but when I'm doing it this way, I'll trim the ends. So eventually I'll go through and I'll trim all these. This is definitely not the finished product. And actually, if you look back here, the Field Notes press sheet, they do it a similar way, to my understanding. Is it all gets cut to a certain length, but then it gets trimmed down to that 3.5 by 5.5. Now, I didn't cut my paper and everything to accommodate for that trim. So it's basically like, that's why on the specs I put 3.5 by 5.5-ish, because it's not exact. And I thought that was like kind of a human element, and also thought it was kind of funny. So a lot of things with that. But either way, and I also decided with mine creatively to not, I didn't want to round the corners off like Field Notes and others. Because I also don't have a corner rounder, and I don't really want to. And, to be honest, it does affect, there's technically more writing space when you don't have rounded corners. Let's see, coming in late, what paper did you go with for these? This is plain, cream-colored, 24-pound, and 90 GSM paper. Fountain pen friendly. You gotta try Uniball Jetstream Standard 07. I think I have one of those. Uniball Jetstream, it sounds familiar. I either have one, or I've used one of the two. That's a pretty common pen. I think I've used it before, though. I might have it right here. See, I have the Uniball, that's a Vision Elite. Yeah, I don't think I have one on hand. But I feel like I've got one of those somewhere running around. See, CF Fleming says awesome. I have a feeling, because I was talking in the video I made announcing these things, that's available for members only right now. But I was talking in that video about how the paper is fountain pen friendly, which I had a feeling a ton of people would really appreciate. Because it seems like a lot of you guys enjoy your fountain pens, so it's cool. So these are going to be some high quality, also affordable notebooks that are also good for fountain pens. Hi everyone, Nezukoi's my wafu. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I most definitely am, but hello, welcome in. Glad to see you here, friend. Okay. Now, because this thing is probably built for fewer sheets, it is going to take a little bit of rough wear and tear, or like it's going to take a little mustered to actually do the thing. I'm Nezuko. Nice to see you too. Hey, oh yeah, it's Nezuko. Okay, I see it now. Okay. Sometimes without having spaces in the usernames, it makes it be a little bit more challenging for my brain. Will you be going on a schedule for your lives? No, not officially, because I'm not full time on YouTube yet. So like doing the extra stuff like the lives and everything is just a lot more when I have time. Excuse me. Christoph, welcome in from Germany. All right. But like right now, so today is my day off from work, and normally I would spend this day making making between 1 and 2 videos for the actual channel. But with this project looming, I really wanted to get a ton of notebooks made. That way, whenever I dropped them, I had enough inventory to be satisfactory. So with that, I am ahead enough on videos, I can afford to have a day where I don't make a video and I just make notebooks instead. But I also was like, I'm not just going to not do anything, so I had to stream a little bit, you know? Okay. Bloom says the notebooks you are making are kind of reminding me of the field notes, everything proof. Yeah, the color. They actually also, I believe, are like one of the, second or third ever quarterly edition, they had just an orange cover, which I feel like those are pretty rare and pretty sought after anymore. And also, I think those are so cool looking. That's kind of like, they've gone away from that in recent years for obvious reasons, because they're, the brand's growing so much and it's all doing really well. But there's something about just a plain color, Oh, also, since you guys are here, I will announce this. I actually got some more cardstock today, but it's not a fun color, it's just craft. So I'm really psyched to give that a try, because it's the exact same specs as this. The exact same specs, just craft brown. And I think that'd be really fun. Because there's something about a craft brown notebook that's really nice. But the nice thing is with these is like the Field Notes craft are their, lower end, not super sturdy, but these are going to be like 110 pound, 300 GSM, good stuff. So I'm particularly psyched for that. Raven says, ooh. Oh yeah, see, we're going to have a nice little stash here. We're getting through the orange ones. We're working our way down. And actually, in the video that I've been referencing, the video that announces these notebooks release, that I do use some of the footage from the last stream as B-roll, because that was kind of what the stream was for, in a way, was to help accompany that video. Boom, bam. Oh yeah, we are cooking now. Got a lot of orange. Oh, let me show you guys. The stack I'm working with currently. So this is, I believe, 19 yellow GareTheBear notebooks. I had to go back and stamp them all with the specs and stuff, though. It's gonna be a pain. Ravens with the $3.99 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Ravens is the real one. Thank you so much for that. Of this camera, this one here. But let's see, there's one blue one here, 2 green ones, 4 orange ones. So I'm kind of working on building up whatever it's called, the stash per color. Also, Raven says to support your full-time goal. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's see if we can adjust this hair. That way we don't have to do as much back and forth. Matter of fact, I could just kill the other camera if I wanted to. I don't know. I still think switching it a little bit is going to be, just keep it entertaining, keep it visually interesting. Perfect. All right. Okay. Thank you for that, Isil? Sorry for mispronouncing that. Either way, I appreciate you. Appreciate your visual recommendations. And once again, Ravens, I appreciate the $3.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Maybe zoom in the second one. Oh yeah, you got that. See, I was gonna do that, but I didn't want to do it too far. Didn't want to zoom in too far. How far are we talking here? This one can be there. Zoom it in on the stapler. Make it the stapler shot. Stapler cam! Too far. Ah! Alright, let's everyone agree on one zoom and then we'll leave it there. I don't want to sit here all day and zoom. I think we got it now. I think we got it now. This is going to be... how loud is this when I do that? Probably ridiculously loud, but I don't know. Let me know. Okay. I'm going to take this hoodie off because I'm sweating half to death. I swear, in here, in my office, it's either really hot or really cold. There's no in between. But also, I'm wearing a hoodie and working on stuff, so, you know, it's one of those things. Okay. Back in action. I'm just going to put this, like... Okay. Can you hear me okay? That should be okay. Back in action. Oh, yeah, that's a good shot. I like that. Okay. What's everybody up to? Everybody having a good, what is today? Tuesday? Audio's good? Good. Hope everybody's having a good Tuesday. Or I guess it's, yeah, it's probably still Tuesday for most everybody. Oh, yeah. What are you making these notebooks for? Your own use? These are going to be for, actually, partially my own use, but mostly for sale. I'm going to be making them for you guys. It's going to be merch for the channel, like this. But it'll be merch, basically. It's technically merch, if I'm going to be saying it like that. Technically channel merch, but also I will use them as sort of a... I'm actually really excited to use them, but definitely... Let's see. Documenting this journey in one of these notebooks is as meta as it gets. Yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool. I've been documenting this. It's really been a process that's kind of been happening over the past couple of months. The idea has been there for a long time, but the actually doing it and executing has been over the past few months. A very nice idea, but self-made. Yes, yes. So, like, you can't really get, you know, good little notebooks like this as merch that I'm aware of, like as far as a print-on-demand kind of thing. You can get notebooks, like I've got a couple, but not pocket-sized, that are nice. And so I figured, let's just do it this way. I like this, and it's an easy enough process to where I can make a bunch and sell them, and then whenever I sell out, if I sell out, hopefully, if I sell out, then I could just work on building it back up, and then it'll be like one of those things where the quantity that I have is what's available, and then when it sells out, it's out until I make more. So it'll be also, I feel, kind of one of those things that just is... I don't want to just toot my own horn, but I feel like it could be higher in demand just because it is so limited. It's not like print on demand where you can get one basically all the time and it never sells out. I enjoy watching your videos, Nezuko. Very calming. I appreciate that. I'm glad that my videos are calming. Because they're not always calming to make. Sometimes they, like most of the time they are. They're very peaceful to make most of the time. It's kind of like my creative flow state, but not always. Not always. What am I doing? I'm supposed to be doing outside chores, barn stuff, and snow removal, but this is more interesting at the moment. Hey, the chores will be there for you. The chores will always be there for you. But no, I appreciate you spending your time with me. That really means a lot. It really does mean a lot to me. Hey, you can always throw on the earbuds or whatever and do listen in while you're shoveling snow or whatever. What pen do you hate the most? That's a question I don't think I've ever been asked. Oh, what pen do I hate the most? I don't know, to be honest. Videos are the reason I've spent too much on field notes. Cleaver spoonage? It's either cleaver spoonage or cleaver spoonage, one of the two. Your videos are the reason I've spent too much on field notes. Well, I don't know if it's a thank you or if it's a compliment or a why are you doing this to me kind of comment. Let's see. C.A. Fleming says, yes, they will be. That snow will not melt anytime soon. Alaska. Yeah. Yeah. Then in that case, you got time. You got time. Where I'm at, it just got warm enough. It's, you know, in the last couple of days, it all started to melt. So we had several inches of snow. 6, I think, total. Or more than that. I don't know. Some areas varied. Marbles McGee, I started following your videos a few months ago. You've become one of my favorite creators. Thank you. Glad you're here. I'm a big stationery collector too. It's fun to see what you do with your collection. Hey, it's always a fun time, you know? It's always a good time. And it's always cool to share that sort of thing too, you know? Cleaver Spooner says all of the above. Fair enough. It is whatever you read it as the first time. That's what your name is. God. But yeah, what pen do I hate the most? Going back to that question. Dude, I don't really know if I hate any pen the most. Like, I don't know if there's like a number one pen that I can't stand to use. Oh, jeez. That's a tough one, because I usually only look for the positives and that sort of thing. I don't... Let's see, of the ones that I have, what's my least favorite? So I like the let's see, what is this? The Bic Crystal, those are nice. I really dig those. These are the bold ones, 1.6 millimeter. The regular ones, like the not so bold or the medium or whatever, those are not so great for me. I'm not huge on those. They're a classic, don't get me wrong, but they're just, meh. I'd rather have the bolder tip with that sort of thing. Let's see. I'm so fascinated with the stapler. Stapler envy is real. Hey. You can get it on. You can get it all over the place, but this is a Boss Stitch. Get it on their website. I think it's like $44 or so, give or take. But I wouldn't have spent that much on a stapler if it wasn't an investment in this project, because this has made the process so much quicker. And as we all know, time is a finite resource, so there you go. Let's see. Rice crackers. You are the reason I started writing more, especially with pocket notebooks. That's been unused for a while. Oh, I'm glad I can inspire you, friend. Thanks for being here. I'm glad that I've been able to have an impact on you guys. That's really cool. It's funny because I got a friend, he was telling me that he wouldn't use pocket notebooks or write as much or do whatever. And he said it was all my fault that he was making notebooks and spending money on notebooks and stuff. And he was like, that's why you're called an influencer. That's why they call, creators influencers. I find the term a little bit cringe, but at the same time, it's like, I guess that's technically what is happening, I would rather, the term I would prefer is creator. I don't want to go as far as to say artist, because that's not for me to decide. But I would say creator is a fair assessment. I would also like to say like a maker, because I'm clearly making things, whether it's a video or a notebook or whatever, or writing something. Like something's being made, so it could be creator or maker, whatever. And on that same note, it's kind of funny. So it's like, essentially we make internet content, but content feels so corporate to me. It feels so yucky. Like, I'd rather say I make videos, I make entertainment, I suppose, but saying content feels yucky. Also, the orange is complete, so now it's time to get to the blue ones. Doing good. You influenced me to pick up a Sharpie again. I'm glad I did. Was that from the Sharpie video? because that was a fun video. I love making that thing. Isaiah Trevino, what's up, GareTheBear? Welcome. Welcome. For the bold moments. Hey, yeah. Sometimes you need the extra large honkin' Sharpie. I was at Walmart the other day, and I realized I missed a size because there's the I think it was a Magnum or something, and there's a king size in between that and the bold one. So I actually missed a size on that video, which is disappointing, but it is what it is. Yes, a Sharpie video. Do you read books? If so, do you have a favorite? I try, and it's something that I can't say I do consistently, but I do make a very poor effort towards that goal. And my favorite would be, I don't know, I've read a couple of good ones lately. The Creative Act by Rick Rubin, or what is that called? It's that one big gray one with a black circle on it. That was a good one. I read one called, I haven't read it in a little while actually. It's a little thin guy. It's called Don't Believe Everything You Think. It's a good one. But I don't know if I have a favorite necessarily. Like I've read a lot that I like. What I want to do, because I kind of get in this, like, if I'm reading something and I don't like it, I kind of feel like I have to force myself to finish it. I want to try and get away from that and just start reading a lot of different things. Prefer Milwaukee Inksols to Sharpies. Milwaukee, that's like, oh yeah, that's like the tool brand. Oh yeah, I like the Milwaukee ones too. They have a nice finer point. Really? Netwix, welcome. You're making how many notebooks? So the title's clickbait, but I think it's about 60. The title is 67 notebooks because I thought that was funny and also ironic. But I think it's actually going to be closer to 60. What is that stapler? Haha, welcome in. We've been talking about the stapler. This is the Boss Stitch booklet stapler, designed for, you guessed it, booklets. It's a tank. I love it. Okay, lunch break is over. Have a good rest of your video. Ivan, thank you for being here. Appreciate you stopping by and spending your lunch break with us. I'll come back for the replay. Oh, dude, can't wait for you to see it. Can't wait for you to see it. So like 6, 7 notebooks, at least. So this is something that we talk about fairly frequently within my circle, is the 6, 7 meme has sort of transcended the Gen Alpha and has now worked its way up. So like I feel like a lot of slang and stupid stuff like that, it starts off with somebody, right? Usually the younger folks. And then as it goes, the adults start to say it, to make fun of it. And then eventually it becomes commonplace, which I think is so funny. And so at work we always joke about 6, 7 and different things like that. And it's really cringe and it's really stupid and funny, but it's just all fun and games at a certain point. Okay, staples. Yeah, I agree. What do you plan on doing with the pen and gear notebooks? Because I honestly have tons and don't know if I should keep writing in them since I'm enjoying field note styles. So I have experienced this exact dilemma. I actually have I can show you. I have a little collection of the pen and gear notebooks that I'm using for words. So I have 4. We have Patreon ideas, Just Garrett ideas, that's my second channel, one of my other channels. Shorts ideas and custom crafts ideas. So each notebook has its own purpose, it's a list of sorts. So that's kind of what I've been using them for, is little reference notebooks. So you can always use them for that. But, there's no rules, so just kind of do what you want, We older folks start using the slang ironically, then it grows on us. Not ironically. Exactly. It's so annoying how it just grows on us, but it does. It's kind of, it'd be kind of cool, actually. I'm going to attach this clamp, and then we're going to attach the mic to the clamp. Boom. Although, should I just wear the darn thing? I think I should just wear it. That way it goes with me, instead of having to mess with it all the time. Okay, I need a good B5 notebook. I have Exceed, one of the Walmart brands, and it's falling apart. Really? It's falling apart, Pat? I haven't tried one of the Exceed ones. I've meant to. It's like I've wanted to do like a, you know, Walmart notebook haul comparison type of thing. Should I wear a hat and just have the mic on my head again? Because that was actually really handy the last time I did it. All right. Okay. That's what I'm going to do because I'm kind of tired of this. Okay. It looks a little goofy, but it works. So fun fact, this is the Creative Person patch that is on the merch site. And I got one of those cheap Bass Pro hats and just sewed it over the Bass Pro logo because I like my logos better. And also because the Bass Pro, they had super cheap hats that I like and actually fit my head. So, because I got a big old head, so it's kind of, you know. They are okay. Now that I'm using fountain pen, it has some bleed. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, by the way, you said... Sorry, I missed your chat earlier. Show us the fountain pen you're rocking. Okay. Okay, bet. I got you. So I'm not going to show you the one I'm rocking exactly because it's not in this room, but I will show you the one I'm rocking in general. So this is a brand called Ooly. If it'll focus. There we go. Ooly, O-O-L-Y. They've got a pack of 3. It's like $18 or something at Barnes & Noble. So it was, you know, really nice, really affordable for 3 fountain pens, and it comes with a little A6 notebook. Adam says, why are you making so many notebooks? I'm making them to sell them and have them and use them. So I'm going to make these notebooks available on my merch site, and you guys can buy them if you want. So, woohoo! They're homemade and made by hand, by my own 2 little hands. And it's a good way to support a YouTuber that you watch. And it's cool. It's not like other merch. It's handmade. It's special. What do you guys like about fountain pens? I like the way the physical tactile response of the light scratch. And it's not the same as a scratchy gel pen or scratchy ballpoint pen. It's a different kind of scratch that I can't describe. Gare notes. That's funny. I don't think I'm gonna call them that because that feels like a Field Notes ripoff, even though kind of the whole thing is a Field Notes ripoff. But I think they're just either GTB pocket notebooks or GareTheBear pocket notebooks. Actually, this thing says the official GareTheBear pocket notebook, so that's probably what it's going to be. Oh, they feel fancy. Oh, the fountain pen? Yeah, I agree. They do be feeling fancy. And it's like not overly fancy unless you have a really expensive one, but literal dad. Hey! Hey, literal dad. Literal dad, as opposed to figurative dad. Let's see. Ogre, by the way, I found the paper cutter we talked about in the last stream. Only $1,500. Ah! I think the one I have over there was like 45 or 60-ish. So I'll settle with 60 versus 1,500. That's a lot of dollars. $1,500 is insane. But if I like really started to up the notebook making grind and like quit my job to make notebooks full time, then I would consider that. Exactly. And a dad who reads. Hey, that's legit. I'm gonna change hats because this one's not really the vibe. It is going to be another Creative Person patch on yet another Bass Pro hat, and this one matches a little better. This is a little fun little design I did with an airplane, paper airplane. I have a box of hats down here. I want to make a hat rack for my office, but that's like one of the, you know, millions of ideas that I have for the studio that I've yet to do. Love fountain pens. They glide so nice on the paper. Don't need pressure to write. That is true. It does not take much pressure at all. Kane White says, hey, what's up, Garrett? What's up, Kane White? What's going on? Hope you're well. Hope you're well. Hope you and your people are good. Yeah, like I said before, this stapler has made this process like 100 times faster. Because if you watched the last stream, I used my regular, stapler, and it was fine and it worked, but it was A, hard to aim it, and B, it was not very efficient. I was thinking of getting stuff from Michaels for making my own notebook just for small notes. Dude, I recommend it. If you've got a Michaels nearby or if you want to order online from them, I recommend it because it's such a fun store. And they also are very artsy and very craftsy. And so they will sell good stuff. Like it's a store for artists who need higher quality supplies. So I would recommend it. Oh, let's see. Fountain pen with a gold nib. Oh, I've never used a gold nib, but that's cool. I'm still very much new to the fountain pen game. Will you replace field notes with your own homemade notebooks? No, not exclusively. I will implement my own homemade notebooks because A, they're nice, and because B, to promote them. But I definitely won't. And actually, what I'm thinking about doing is really broadening my notebook horizons because for the longest, it's been exclusively field notes, except for one time I used a Moleskine Cahier. And here of late, I've been thinking about wanting to just, since I've made my own notebooks, wanting to use my own and dive into some other different pocket notebooks that I can use in my everyday carry that will also fit on my bookshelf. Because I want to make sure it still fits. Because one of my big, nerdy obsessions is I want to make sure the continuity and the consistency of my shelf over here remains intact. I don't want to use a Moleskine, a classic Moleskine A6 for my pocket notebook everyday carry because that's got 120 something pages in it and it doesn't fit the look and the vibe of what I'm going for. So I don't know. And also for my everyday carry, I feel like I want something a bit more, for lack of a better term, a bit more disposable. But not super high quality, because if I'd be carrying it on me, it's going to get wear and tear. So I want something that's going to be, not as big of a deal if it gets torn up or if the cover falls off of it or something. But anyway, that's a long way to answer your question. No, I will not replace field notes. I will just add to the arsenal. Never actually used a fountain pen, so I was curious. I am fairly new at it. I think it's a really fun thing. I only use it for my morning pages and my gratitude journal, so it kind of makes it even more special because it's a limited use situation. I only use it for certain things. They do make left-handed. Let's see. I would like to write with a fountain pen, but I have just one little problem. I'm left-handed. I'm left-handed too, and it works just fine. I just hold it a different way. So I hold it where the flat part is on top. So I just gotta rotate the pen a little bit. I don't know. And maybe it's different for some lefties than others, but I'm also not fully left-handed. I do lots of other things with my right hand too. I'm fairly ambidextrous in that way. Specific reason you chose staples over stitches. You're a big fan of stitches. I am too. I like the stitches. The only problem is stitches would take an eternity longer. Even if I learn how to use a sewing machine, because I do it by hand. I could sew by hand, but I don't know how to use a sewing machine. My wife does, so she can always teach me. But I just feel as though staples are cheaper to acquire. And see, my goal was to make these notebooks cheap. Not cheap in quality, but cheap, affordable. Because if you guys are going to want to buy them, I want to make sure they're affordable. That way you don't, break the bank trying to buy these notebooks. Because I want to make, like I said, I want to make it different than other merch in that I want to make it fair priced. But the idea would be I want to make them cheaper, and thread costs more than staples. Let's see. But to use a fountain pen, you need paper that's good quality so the ink don't bleed through. Yeah, I actually use Moleskine paper, and I also might have a different tolerance to bleed because I don't really care. It's fine to me, but I also can see how it's a nuisance to others. What if you were to measure the dimensions of all your pant pockets, figured the average size, and use it to make a notebook that always fits perfectly in your pocket? That would be really dope. Honestly, I think it's still this pocket size, A6, 3.5 by 5.5. I think that's pretty much the same. These are really, really good size. Although, if I were to make any adjustments to the whole A6 for the ideal pocket notebook, I might make it a hair smaller. But I don't know for sure. And these are actually going to be a little smaller, fun fact, because I cut them 3.5 by 5.5. They end up being like 3.25 by 5.5. But also it's give or take because it's a human here working on this stuff. Do they make left-handed fountain? They do make left-handed fountain pens. 302 Barbecue, welcome back. They do make left-handed fountain pens. See, I feel like I would get all backwards using left-handed fountain pen, because like I've been left-handed in a lot of things my whole life, as most people have been. But I've adjusted a lot, and I feel like a lot of people have, because they're, you know, the minority of us is left-handed or something like that. So everybody just adjusts to living in a right-handed world. What fountain calligraphy pen to use? Kane, if you're asking me, I use the Uli brand. This is the only one I've ever used. Cheap, works nicely. You can't, I don't think, get refills for them. No, you might be able to get refills for them, but I just haven't. The only way I'm buying a Gare notebook is if it has that awesome stamp on the back. Yeah, so it's going to have all the stamps. I'm going to show you here in a second. Literal Dad. It's going to have all the stamps. See, we got 4 different stamps here. There's the logo for the front, the official GareTheBear pocket notebook, and the YouTube link for the back, the specs for the inside, and the name, start date, and end date for the inside as well. We're down to the last few blue ones, and then we're going to get to the greens. But because Literal Dad was asking, so this is what they're going to look like completed. We've got the logo on the front. The back has this. And then the inside front cover is going to have that, where it's name, start, end. And then the specs in the back. 48 plain pages, 3.5 by 5.5-ish. The paper, the cardstock, and super cool. So that's what they're all going to look like. Let's see. What type of paper are you using for these? This is 24 pound 90 GSM, and I've tested it with a fountain pen, and it's fountain pen friendly. My dad told me in his day if you wrote lefty, they made you write right-handed. I've heard about that, where they used to do that, which I find a little funky. But I think it was just kind of because they thought being left-handed was bad in some way, I think. You got a new staple gun. Yes, Mark, the new stapler is here, and the notebook making has never been smoother. Now what I need is a paper folder of some kind. Like I need an automatic folding device. Somehow if I can just invest millions of dollars and automate this whole process, that'd be great. Haha, perfect, problem solved. The birds are chirping outside. Oh, I love it. Love it. You should scribe lines on your stapler so you know where to hold the notebook each time. Repeatability, better quality. True. True that. True that, Literal Dad. True that. I've been going by my eyeballs, and honestly, it's been working pretty well. It's been within millimeters of the same cut, or between the same staple every time. So yeah, we'll do it. I'm thinking there. Let's see, Sharpie. So then if I rotate the notebook, it goes there. This is why I have you guys here, for all your good ideas. Because look at that. Just look at that. Fantastic. Although if I was going to adjust, I'd probably do see. How many notebooks have you made so far in this stream? I think 40. I think 40 is what I've constructed thus far. I did all the cutting and everything earlier this morning, but of the folding and the stapling, I've made 40. 20 years in quality engineering makes these thoughts happen automatically. I love that. That is valuable perspective that we appreciate here on the GareTheBear stream. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do, I think, actually. I'm going to mark the top and the... Shoot. So somebody who buys a notebook, there might be some Sharpie marks on it. And that's just a moment from the stream. Put another skyline on the left side so you want to flip. Yep, that's exactly what I just did. I didn't even read that comment, and that's exactly what I did. Are you rounding the edges? No, I am not. I am not rounding the edges. Little Easy, welcome in, says, now the greens. Yeah. Made a bunch of yellows earlier yesterday, so we're not going to make any yellows today. But matches your hat. That it does. That it does. Beautiful. And see, now after we staple, we're going to X-Acto knife. How do you feel about junk journaling? I've never done it, Ravens, but I would love to. I think it's such a cool thing, but I would have to, like, I don't know. I would feel like I would want to make a video about it. Definitely. And that's been written down many a place in my pocket notebook collection. I've written that down multiple times. Just a matter of doing it. That is the best. You and Kiwi are both live. Hey, Kiwi! Okay. Okay, let me get Kiwi's stream pulled up. I'll pull it up on my phone since I'm not watching on my... Since I'm not watching on my computer here. Both live at the same time. It's kind of legit. Alright, let's see. Does your cutter have a scoring blade? I don't believe so. They just have these little guys. Actually, I can just pull it out here. A scoring blade would be kind of cool. This is what it's got. It's just a little guy like that. It comes with 3 of them. And I don't know if it was getting dull earlier or if I was just being goofy. But I think the way the covers are, they started to get fuzzy. So, you know, let's see. Been journaling more than actually writing down notes in my Moleskine cahier. Nice. I feel like the hardcover Moleskines are so nice for just a plain journal, you know? Can also level up your stamp locating game. If it were me, I would 3D print a jig. But, yeah, I don't have a jig. There's a rounding tool you can get. I got mine from Michael's. Ooh, a rounding tool. Yeah, so it's kind of a 2-part thing. On one hand, I don't want to round the covers because it allows for more space to write. On the other hand, I don't want to round the covers because that's one more thing I gotta buy. Had to look up moleskin because I realized I wasn't sure what it was. My surprise when it wasn't literal moleskin. That would be kind of gross, I think. You know? It'd be kind of yucky. The skin of a mole. Yeah, I don't... 3D printing is an interesting thing. I'm not certain how I feel about it. I think it's really cool. Let me say that. It's really cool. I don't know if I would be into it myself as much. The scoring blade will help you center all the pages, cover, and it will help the book lay flatter. Will help you center all the pages. Okay, so it like wears down the spine a little bit? Is that what you're saying? There's a specific type of material which can be used to carve out your own stamps. The name escapes me. Yeah, we did that in art class when I was in like high school. It was linoleum, I think. But it's like a reverse. I mean, you could do it either way, I suppose. But we did it where we carved a channel, and the negative space within the stamp was what we used. Like we inked the negative space, and then that was what made the design. It's really cool. On YouTube I saw a high-end rounding tool that has a lever, pulls down a blade and rounds edge. Jeez! It's pretty intense. Like I said, I just feel like that's a lot of paper to lose out, you know? That's one word you have to get the spelling right. What, linoleum? Yeah. Yeah, Dad, send me a picture. Because I'm not exactly certain I get what you're saying. To get the spelling right. What word is it we're talking about? The coolest thing I found out about 3D printing is that it's very versatile. You can use it with almost every other... That is true. You can use it for a lot of different things. I've also found it super interesting because, like, you know, at least with my basic knowledge of it, I kind of think of it as like that filament, you know, that one material, but you can actually do a lot of different materials with it as well, which is super interesting. I have a friend, oh, moleskin. Yeah, true. Single rounder made of plastic. Okay. I have a friend that is addicted to 3D printing and talks about this all the time. Well, I think it's the people that do it really dig it. Because, I mean, you have to kind of really want to do it. I feel like because it's an investment of a lot of money. Because not only are the machines expensive, but the filament is not particularly cheap. I think it's probably cheap, like, per, you know, yard or foot. Have I ever tried, let's see, so many material options. Yeah. Moleskin, is that not correct? So it's moleskin with an E at the end, I do believe. Netwix. There's so many material options. Have you ever tried a Lamy Safari? No. Lamy? Lamy? Isn't that a fountain pen? Or a notebook? One of the two? I've heard good things about that, though. That's one that has been recommended to me a few times. Yeah, moleskin with the E, Netwix, for sure. Moleskine. If you're one of us goofy folk. Knock on wood, I haven't had any goofy staple issues since those first couple. I wasn't pushing on the stapler hard enough. Look at that, that's such a satisfying little pile. Oh, you can't see it now. I'm gonna switch to this angle for a little bit, keep it interesting. I think Lamy Safari can be a fountain pen or a roller ball, they make both. I believe that sounds about right. I don't know for sure, but that does sound about right. Is it Lamy or Lammy? Or something else that I'm not pronouncing? Lamai. Got my first, but somehow it came with no ink. Huh, that's crazy. Have you tried disposable fountain pens? They're pretty affordable. I don't know, are these probably aren't disposable. Try that again. These probably aren't disposable because you can indeed take the ink out. And I think they sell refills. I've not tried disposable ones though. I bet that'd be kind of interesting. Recommend trying to lengthen the top of that stapler. Your hand is going to hurt like an MF tomorrow. Yeah, it'll be alright. I think actually there is a way to do it. I think you pull that bolt out and you could move it up. Or no, that's something else. Never mind. Never mind. Just kidding. Made one notebook. When open the first page, folding out with grid paper. Let's see. Made one notebook when I opened the first page, folding out with grid paper. I think when you open that when I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time getting what you mean there, Mark. When open, when won the magazine. I'm not exactly certain what you're meaning there, Mark. Like when a magazine has a fold-out poster. That's kind of what I was thinking. Pilot Kakuno, super cheap and awesome. Yeah, I've heard of that one too. That one, I actually almost got that one for my first fountain pen, but they didn't have it that day, so I got something different. If you had to recommend a book, any genre, what would it be? If I had to recommend a book, any genre, what would it be? Gare might be a bit too young for centerfold. No, let's not go that far now. I know what a centerfold is. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so you're saying, Mark, you made a notebook that folds out like that, like a magazine would. Is that what you're saying? Also, my recommendation, gosh, I don't know. For the sake of keeping the stream family friendly, there's a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Bleep. And it's one of those that's kind of self-helpy, but at the same time, it's a good message in basically, it's kind of like I said, it's kind of self-helpy, but at the same time, it is a valuable message, basically just saying, spend your energy that you have, spend your energy on things that you actually care about, and choose what you actually care about wisely. So, like, don't spend time worrying about stuff that you have no control over. That's kind of the gist of it. And he just uses, not giving a hoot as basically just choose what you spend your energy on wisely. Very, very rough thing. Paper was grid paper. Very interesting, yeah. Book recommendation. That's a good one too. Mark Manson. Yeah, that's a good one. I haven't read his second book yet, but I have it on my shelf. I would like to read it at some point. It's one of the millions on my to be read list. Yep, gotta show your age, look up what a centerfold is. Essentially just the center papers fold out. And also a lot of times like the middle two, like Staple Day, that was like one big thing. Like one big article or one big something that took up 2 pages. That's my understanding of it. Atomic Habits. Yeah, see, that's one that I also am, it's on my to-be-read list, but I love I don't think I've ever heard a bad thing about that book, Literal Dad. I think I've genuinely not heard anything bad about it. The thing with self-help is it's basically, people either love it or people don't, because people don't necessarily like self-help as a genre. And I get that because a lot of people just claim to know what they're talking about instead of like, I don't know. But like everybody has their own life experiences, so like everybody can draw off of their own stuff as long as they don't try and claim to be something that they're not. There we go. One big something, all right. Let's see. Atomic Habits is the good one. Tyler, welcome in. I need to reread. Miracle Morning is another good one. Okay. Also, yeah, sorry, Netwix, I never did reply to that. What are my thoughts on zines? I think they're pretty cool. I thought about making my own, and I was a subscriber to Van Neistat's Patreon there for a while, and I got the PDF of the zines that he made. That's just a big it's a big time suck, so I haven't made my own. Make use of centerfolds a lot on magazines, just never knew the name for it. Oh, there you go. I feel like I'm that way with a lot of things. Like, I don't know the name for a lot of stuff, but I know of a lot of stuff. I think it's just due to a lack of research. Reading through Dune now. Never have read it. Wanted to do something sci-fi fantasy. Alright, Tyler. I've heard that's a good one. Dune's fantastic. Phenomenal. Don't give up on it. If you end up liking Dune, I can make some sci-fi recommendations. Perfect. Love it. If you guys would like the book talk chat in the Discord, because we got a channel in there where It's all about books, so if you guys really enjoy talking books and you are in the Discord, that's a place to hang out for sure. "50 pages in. Feel like it's a slow start, but I have no idea what's going on or what anything is. I imagine world building is boring. That's why I'm going to go Star Wars nerd here. That's why a lot of folks, I think, didn't like Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Because there was a lot of establishing stuff and not a lot of, you know, super cool Star Wars-y stuff. But also, I think it still is super cool Star Wars-y. It's very political, that episode. But also, like, that's the whole story if you really think about it. So I find, like, whenever I tell people what my ranking of favorite Star Wars movies is, The Phantom Menace is, like, in my top 4, I think. Okay, website full book recommendations, alright. Slow start, promise it's worth it. Gotta go, 9 p.m. in Poland. Well, Bloomin', thank you for being here. I appreciate your time. Thank you for showing up and hanging out with us for a little bit. Hope you get some good rest for the day tomorrow. And I spent a lot of the last few years reading primarily sci-fi and fantasy from the similar era of when Dune came out. Sick. And a Star Wars nerd. And then Dune is all about politics. Yeah, because like I feel like it's a good way to like really get an engaging story, you know. Dune is a cool older brother of Star Wars? Really? Okay. But yeah, I feel like with Star Wars, the politics of it are the reason why everything happens, you know? That's literally why all that stuff transpires, because their politics are out of whack. It's like the whole, you know, galaxy falls apart because people can't agree. Dune changed my life when I first read it personally. Wow, that's a big deal. I feel like reading has a very profound effect on a lot of people. And so does writing, to be fair. Same with Dune. Politics and power cause everything, literally. Some religion thrown in, yeah. It's kind of the way Star Wars is too. I mean, I imagine it's like they always say, you know, every, you know, huge franchise is the exact same, like Star Wars, Harry Potter, things like that, where there's like the Chosen One and all this. It's like they always say they're all basically the same story, just with different characters. Which, it is a recipe that works, so, you know, you can't blame them. Makes a big money, makes a big dollar. It's time for some water, gang. I don't know about you. Everybody, this is the official GareTheBear water break. So, drink some water if you've got some nearby, and if you don't have some nearby, go get some. It's important that we stay hydrated, my friends. We are almost done with this big stack. Kinda bonkers. Like the idea of the heroes. Yeah, it's the idea of the hero's journey, exactly. I was talking about this to a friend the other day. We were talking about story. And that's I couldn't remember what it was called, but the hero's journey is what I'm referring to. Where it's, I don't know if it's the helper or the friend like he meets along the way, or the main character, the hero, would meet along the way. The Obi-Wan Kenobi of sorts. That's in Van Nystadt's video about the hero's journey. That is how he describes it, is the Obi-Wan Kenobi, because that's essentially what it is. Or like with Harry Potter, it's, I guess Hagrid, maybe Ron, I guess it depends on how you look at it, but you have this one person who is in this other world. Actually, it's probably, yeah, I guess it could be either one. But it's this other person that you come across that's in this other world. The main character gets familiar with the other world with. Yeah, the hero's journey can be seen. I mean, it's a what is it called? It is a system. It works. I mean, it's pretty industry standard, I would say. Hero's journey always has a mentor. Yes. Oh yeah, there's always the main character and the person that knows more than them. about whatever they're trying to accomplish. It's a good format. It's a very effective format. Okay. This is so satisfying seeing this whole array. Oh, you can't see them as well with the camera zoomed in like that. I want to use this camera now as a here's the progress we have cam. There's the progress we have, gang. Enough stapling and the batteries fell off of my lamp here. Looks so cool, Ravens. Thank you. Thank you. Ravens is holding up the #1 spot in the chat. I think the chat leaderboard is so cool. That is impressive. Thank you. A little easy. Looks like an arrow. Only 2 staples instead of 3. Steve Farino? Yeah, I'm only using 2 staples because it works. You know, there's really nothing else to say about it. It works. And it's an effort to save time, and it's also an effort to save those who pay for them money. Staples are expensive. Exactly. That's the gist. It costs money to buy staples, and the fewer I can use, the cheaper I can make the notebooks, is essentially the idea. So imagine if Field Notes used 2 staples instead of 3, you could probably still get a 3-pack for $10. It's interesting. So like I am very much pro save your money as much as you possibly can. I'm also very much pro buy quality. So like if it costs a lot, but it's going to last you a long time, then get it. And I don't remember where I was going with that, but my goal with these notebooks is to make them like the baseline a little bit more durable than a Field Notes. Just because that's one of the gripes I've heard from a lot of commenters is the durability is not always there with the Field Notes, which obviously I've used Field Notes enough to know that that is pretty much one of the only things that's not so great about them, but it also depends because there's lots of folks that love the wear and tear on the Field Notes, and there's some folks that absolutely despise that fact. So it's tricky. Mirza, welcome in, says that's a ton of stock. Oh yeah, that's not even close to what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming to have much, much more than that. But this is good for the first round. Every good product has a blend of quality and savings. Absolutely. Because if you have it all quality, nobody will be able to afford it. And if it's all savings, it's crap. Now, that's not always true, I imagine. But that is essentially the Venn diagram, right? You got to meet in the middle. You got to have high quality elements that people want to come back to buy, and also make them affordable enough and save money where you can to make them affordable. So like 2 staples, for example, or, you know, I don't even remember. What other cost saving measures have I done? Let's see. Something can take wear and tear and be quality. A leather-bound book, for example. Exactly. And that's a good way to put it, because like wear and tear doesn't mean a lack of quality. It just means an amount or the opposite of lack of use, an abundance of use. Because use is it's good. You make things to be used, not to just be bought. Is this the end of Field Notes? Oh no, definitely not. Definitely not. I also am one of the appreciators of the way a Field Notes wears down. There's certain covers, like they have some of the ones that are a bit more plasticky that will wear down and they'll just fall apart. But like the basic standard craft ones and the other ones that are that more papery, cardstocky consistency, those are really good. Those wear nicely. I love those. Wear and tear is a bit on whoever is making the product, but also shows the item was loved and used. More meaningful than if it were pristine. Absolutely. I agree with that, 100%. No amount of durability can prevent that. Let's see, although I did just find out this morning that I left my current field notes in the back pocket and washed the jeans. No, it's so sad. Oh my gosh. That sucks. I've heard of that, and that's just brutal. Heard that happen to me, people. Sam Vimes is from Terry Pratchett's Discworld. There's a monologue about how a poor man has to buy cheap boots that will wear out in a year. But a rich man can buy a pricier pair that lasts 10 years. Yeah, it's definitely a balance for sure. I mean, ordered a roll of leather to make my own notebook cover. Would love to see you make a video creating your own. I actually, Ravens, I would love to do that. So I have an idea of making my friend a leather, so he has a receipt printer, and he uses it for his daily to-do list. And he was saying the other day at work that he wanted a clipboard for it. And so, like, in a matter of seconds, my brain designed one, and I drew it and everything. And so one of my videos in the coming weeks is going to be me making that. So really psyched about that. And I also would like to make a leather cover at some point as well. I really like my Boss Leather Co. for my current field notes though, so. I also designed that. I didn't make it, but I designed it and then James made it, so. Pretty fun collaboration there. So the poor man spends more on boots in the long run. Yeah, that sucks. Unless the rich man is just, you know, one of those types of rich guys and just buys a bunch of boots because he can. Guess you'll need a ton of storage. Yeah. I haven't really thought a whole ton about that. Although I have, actually. I don't have enough to need a lot of storage right now, but I definitely will. Also, the stash, the notebooks that I had just sitting there a minute ago, all of them are bound. So now we gotta make them, we gotta cut them. Hello from I'm assuming you meant Belgium? If you meant, I don't know. But anyway, either way, Dimitri, hello there. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate that. Hydration break. And now we're going to switch to the cutting, the trimming. Let's see. Gonna trim down here. I've been doing this with a wood clamp. I guess you call it a wood clamp, just a clamp. I don't know. Been really handy thus far. Gonna just adjust the angle here. Whoopsie. Actually, this one's gonna be really tight, I think. There we go. Make that a tighter shot. Actually, that's probably going to be ideal right there. Okay, now we're going to work on trimming. Let's see. Made some traveler-sized notebook with accountant paper. I pulled from old notebook. I use them all the time. Track car mileages. I also have a field notes that I use to track car mileage. That's so cool. Brenda Venden. Hi, bestie from the Netherlands. What's happening? Thank you for joining us. And are you going to do some designs on covers? Probably not. At least not on this first run. Not on this first run, but I think I will eventually do that. Okay. Okay. I guess I'm going to start trimming the green ones since they're on this side. So I'll take the ruler and I'll get it to where I trim off as little, so I line up the edges of the covers so I can trim off as little cover as possible while still being able to trim off the excess paper. Got some more people. Hello there. Would be cool if in the future you customize these handmade notebooks the way you did your Valentine's and birthday ones. Yeah, that would be really dope. I think it would be fun to do custom crafts on my own notebooks. What I would probably do is do that with the craft colored ones. Okay, here we go. Just gonna leave a big pile of these clippings on the floor. Go back and clean them up later. Okay, there you go. First one down. That would be so cool, yeah. I see. What are the materials those notebooks are made of? So, the specs. Bam. Those are the specs. 110 pound, 300 GSM covers, 24 pound, 90 GSM pages, 3.5 by 5.5-ish. This is all cardstock I bought from Michael's retailer, arts and crafts retailer in the U.S. Probably, I don't know, is Michael's around other places? I don't know enough about it to know for sure. I'm gonna do it like that. So what I'm doing, okay, it's not showing up here, but the little this, I'm gonna trim the first one, and then I'm gonna put it in the back, and then so on until we're back to where we are. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but we're balling. Okay, here we go. Lock in, team. Let's do it. My expense notebook has helped keep me mindful of what I spend. I think that's a great idea. Personally, I don't have an expense notebook, but now and again I'll log expenses in my everyday carry notebook. So, also Chris says hi again. Also Antonio says hello from Italy. Hello from Italy. Alright. I'm literally just going to dump all this clippings onto the floor and vacuum and stuff later. I want to log my expenses, but I always forget to keep up with it. I feel like that's like one of the hardest parts is just keeping up with it, you know? Apparently Michael was a real dude. Really? Michael of Michaels. That's cool. Doesn't surprise me though. I feel like all those people that their names are on retail stores are real people at one point in time. Hi from Norway. Welcome in. Keep a digital register. One thing I prefer digital versus paper so I can easily search up transactions, etc. You see, that's kind of where I go. I have a lot of mine just in my online banking. Just quick and easy. I can search up old statements if I need to. And I kind of just, I don't know. There are some things, like Tyler said, I also prefer digital for some things. Ooh, that kind of got a little squirrely. There we go. I see Jackie McShannon. Hi from Niagara Falls, Canada. Hello there. Not even like history. Dude founded the store in 1973. Huh. That's cool. That's particularly neat. Because I know like Walmart is Sam Walton. And then there's like J.C. Penney for obvious reasons. That's his name. And there's probably others that I don't know of, but it's still pretty neat. Slice and dice, gang. Okay. Hey, pretty much inspired me to start journaling in pocket notebooks. It's now an amazing new habit. Well, glad that can help. Greetings from Hungary. Oh, that's so cool. I'm glad I was able to inspire. Thanks for stopping by and sharing with us. Where'd you buy your clamp, Ravens asked? I got this one from Menards. But I think it was one of the cheaper ones. They've pretty much got these everywhere. Menards, Lowe's, etc. Mark says, swiping the card, there's no pain associated with it, but to actually writing changes your mindset, similar to paying cash. True that, true that. There's always pain for me, even when I'm swiping a card. There's always pain associated with it. Spending money, whether I can physically feel it or not, it's not my favorite to do. Net Wick says woodworking is cool. I've always found it fun. Just the idea of making something your own is so cool to me, and that's why you're watching me cut paper. Want to make bookbinding and woodworking my old man hobbies? Dude, see, I just turned 24 the other day, and I'm really living the old man life in my dreams, I guess. I'm not fully living the old man life, but I would love to, because it's so cool. Basically, I want to do all my hobbies all the time, and I don't want to work ever. Basically. Kane says, Garrett also introduced me to using pocket notebooks. That's so cool. Look at us all here together. Let's see. Little Easy says, sadly I gotta go. It's late in Germany. Very chill stream. Loved it. Thank you for being here, Little Easy. A little bit late in Central European time. Jackie McShin says, I started bookbinding a few years ago. Great hobby. I think it's really cool, bookbinding in general. And I'm only 24. Yep, I'm only 24. People always think I'm older, though. But also I have a beard, so it doesn't help. Pat says, I'm living the old man life now is a style. Everyone seems to be going. Yeah, it does seem like everybody's kind of working their way back to analog, which I think is really cool. Just because it's like the digital world nowadays is so overwhelming, and it's so overstimulating that the analog is a very peaceful way of going about things that we may not have appreciated in the time that it was a thing, but. Yeah. Let's see. Definitely younger than he seems. I feel like it's a lot of, I don't know, maybe I just think, I don't know. But I take that as a compliment, so thank you. It's goofy. Part of this that's kind of annoying is getting the X-Acto knife handle part when it catches on this clamp here, because it kind of makes a bump. But it's not too bad. It's just kind of a feeling issue. So I just need to be wary of where I'm placing the clamp, basically. Here I am feeling a little old lady. Turning 20 next year, I'm already ready for the retirement home. Bruh. Man, sounds like me. Just let me raise my chickens, build stuff in my backyard, make me some books, have a good time. That's right. That's right. I just wanna vibe. I just wanna have a good time, you know? Beard makes you look older. Yeah, it definitely does. Because without it, I look like I'm 15. Totally understand that. I'm really like into analog to alternative right now. I've really been enjoying the. Oh, I just think the tip of that broke even further. That's crazy. Okay, let me change that blade then. No, I'm really into like the analog clock. Apparently, people don't know how to tell time, which that's like. There's a lot of things people gripe about as far as like, oh, I can't believe they don't teach you that in school anymore or whatever. And I'm like, I get that. And most of the time I'm just like, whatever. But also, telling time, I feel like it's one of those things you gotta know regardless if it's digital or analog clock. You know? I don't know, I just feel like it's too important a thing. Also, this is not the right size X-Acto blade. That's insane. Although it might work for this knife. I think these are bigger. Yeah, I had a conversation a while back. What happens when the clown dose goes down permanently? That is a fabulous question. My smartphone broke, went outside without it for the first time in years. The serenity I felt. Yeah, it's different, dude. It's different. Also, bro, why are all these... This is such a huge X-Acto blade. What the heck? Although I think that should work a little better. I might have just messed up pretty good. Me being 20 and seeing my Gen Alpha relatives feeling old AF, bro. Crazy. How I feel when I see a meme I don't get intuitively. Yeah, I do be feeling old with that too. Yeah, so these are not the right size blades. That's frustrating. Because I think a piece of that blade I was using chipped off. So I need to get I need to be very careful, first of all. B, I need to get smaller blades because the ones I have are too big. Sad. Is that, let's see. Have you ever used a Swatch watch? No, I don't think so. I don't know what that is. What happened to this thing? Is that broken too? Good grief. Technical difficulties here, folks. Is that a Reese's I see? It's not Reese's Pieces, but it is a Reese's. It's a Reese's, just regular old Reese's cups. My sister got those for me for my birthday. Jelly, I want one? Shit. Skibbity Toilet was sort of a thing. I thought it was some Half-Life 2 mod that got popular. No, I think that's just something stupid. That one I always thought was stupid. I never caught on to that one. Because like I was saying earlier, how there's sometimes, you know, people that aren't quite with the slang just sort of say it ironically and then it becomes habit, which is annoying. That one never happened that way, thankfully, because I thought it was stupid. OMG, is that a Lego mug? It sure is. This is my Pilot G2 mug, and I put tiles on it. Popular watch. Excuse me, about choked to death. Popular watch brand, known for colorful watches. Bought my first one in New York Times Square. Wow. No, I've never used one, but I mean that's pretty cool. Medium blades used with ABCD handles. This is probably not an A, B, C, or a D. I don't know what it is, but I need to figure that out. Especially if I'm gonna keep doing this, trimming and stuff. I need to get more blades and consistent blades and stuff. Okay, let's be very gentle with my little guy here. Got a crown. Let's see. Swatch makes some sick watches. See them all the time. Crown, no idea what that means. Oh yeah, that just means you are chatting a lot and you're on the leaderboard now. So go you, good for you. Go you. That's what I was trying to say. Oh, we have a lot of trimming to do. Need to get locked in here. well can you guys hear the sound of the paper cutting? Just out of curiosity. It's like some ASMR shit. Alright. Good. That was the answer I was hoping for. Or your hat. Is that the color of a miniature Menards bucket? It could be both, actually. Can hear it pretty good? Good. Let's see. Yeah. Good. Beautiful. Trimming all the pages at once. Jody Cheesemore. That is the plan. That's what I'm doing. What pocket do you keep your pocket organizer in? This is my front left. Front left pocket's where I keep it. That's where my phone and my pocket organizer goes. And my pocket organizer that has my notebook goes on top of my phone, so I feel that first when I stick my hand in my pocket. Then on my other pocket, it's usually wallet keys, but if I'm not on the go, those are in my bag, and I don't keep them in my pockets. Let's see, are you headed back to field notes? Are you headed back to headquarters anytime soon? Oh, not that I'm aware of, but I would always love to go. It's very enjoyable. Okay. Crocs. Do you play guitar? I noticed the Fender Stratocaster poster on your wall. Yeah, I do play guitar. Excuse me. I do play guitar. It's one of those hobbies that it's actually kind of a sacred hobby to me because I don't make that a thing that I monetize. Let's not do the whole. Let's not do that. But yeah, it's not a hobby. Like, you know, notebooks is a hobby that I monetize, right? I make videos about it, things of that nature. But I don't do that with my guitar playing. I've thought about making videos on it, but I kind of want to have hobbies that just stay hobbies, you know? Same with like basketball and tennis and all that stuff. Because I've really got a jillion hobbies, you know, that I like doing. But most of them I don't make videos on. I used to make videos on basically everything, but I kind of like to keep some things just for me, because then, you know, it's just nice that way. If I may make a suggestion, trim the pages in lots of 4 sheets. Each lot 1 millimeter narrower than the last. That sounds like a good idea, just I don't want to do all the work to do that. I have a little system going right now where I just cut the excess in a straight line and move on. Let's see. Learned recently that you can use sandpaper to smooth out the edges of your pocket notebook. Yeah, I've done that. So my very first video I made about making a homemade pocket notebook, like over a year ago, I actually did that with the pages. I did sandpaper, and it worked pretty well to like shave down a certain amount. But this I found is a little bit cleaner per suggestions that I've received. But yeah, sandpaper definitely works. Especially if you're trying to just shave down a little bit. You don't need to shave off a whole ton. You know, if that's kind of where you're at, then it works really well. Let's see. What's your opinion on pickleball? Tried out last summer and really enjoyed. Feels like a relaxed version of tennis. Oh, see, I love tennis because it's like super high energy and super intense. But also I can appreciate pickleball for that reason as well. I haven't played a lot of it though. I'd like to. Healthy mindset on hobbies, says Netwix. Not everything has to be displayed and monetized. Absolutely. Because like, you know, there's, especially because I'm not overly super fantastic at guitar. I'm good enough, I think. Like, I'm pretty good at it. And I can catch on to stuff pretty quickly, but it's not like a thing that I'm really too, you know, I like to just do it for the sake of doing it. You know, I don't want to do it online, and then one of the things is, you know, everybody has their opinion. Like, oh, you should be playing it this way, or you shouldn't be using your blah, blah, blah. You should be using a bar chord all the time, or blah, 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 or whatever. It's like, bro, just let me be. Let me play the way I want to play. Let me vibe. Let me jam out. Obviously, you know, everybody has good intentions when they make suggestions like that, but at the same time, it's like, man, a homie just wants to play. That's all I'm trying to do. Are you watching the Olympics? Not actively, but if I'm ever somewhere and it's on, I'll get down with it. It's definitely not something I'm like actively pursuing to watch. I've been watching a lot of the NBA of late. I love me some basketball. And also Summer Olympics, you know, I like the... I feel like generally speaking, I prefer the sport in Summer Olympics, but I like all of it, so I'm not really too picky. I just kind of watch it when it's on. Sounds similar to some people in writing spaces. The thing about, yeah, I mean, it's just everybody's like, oh, you should do this and you should do that. Like, you should let me do what I want to do, bro. And again, all the suggestions, most of the time, are from a good place. You know, they mean well. It's just, and that's human nature, right? Like we want to give our input, and that's totally normal. That's totally okay. Same time, there's certain things, and like, you know, like I said before, I'm not super great at it, and I kind of like not being super great at it because it allows me to be in a constant state of discovery. And that's with any hobby. I love being able to just figure it out. I don't like being taught so much as figuring it out and learning it on my own. I think that's always fun. What's your basketball team? My favorite team is the Golden State Warriors. I also just really appreciate a good game and can watch anybody. I enjoy watching anybody. I have a lot of favorite players. But my number one team is Golden State. I also like the Boston Celtics quite a bit. They're one of those teams that, and also the Oklahoma City Thunder. And also I haven't watched a lot of their games, but the Hornets have been fun to keep track of because they're young and exciting and stuff. If you're into that kind of thing. I also feel like having a lot of different hobbies like I do makes it fun to talk to people, because then I can like talk to a lot of different people about a lot of different things. Let's see. Andy, hello there. How long have you been live? About 2 hours now, just about. Getting close to that anyway. Also, the trimming has taken significantly longer than I anticipated, but also it's all good. I'm gonna switch angles just to keep it interesting. Zip. It's great when you can have discussions with people about almost anything. Not that we have to be experts, but it's nice to just be knowledgeable. I agree with that, Tyler, 100%. Sometimes we get caught up in technique in our craft that works, and we develop blind spots. I agree with that. My first comment on your channel, watching your video, to rethink my utility first mindset. And see, that's another thing. Like, you can have a certain, way of thinking. It's just a matter of, like you said, not being closed off to other ways of thinking. Because that's where we fail, I feel like, as a society, is we're so closed off to other ways of thinking that we miss a lot. And there's a lot of opportunity for growth and other things. But I did appreciate your comment, Netwix, because it's not always people are big enough to go back and say, well, I said this, and then I did thinking, and then I realized, hey, such and such. And also, I appreciate you acknowledging the fact that waited till the end of the video and then adjusted, like you got context from watching the whole thing. Okay. Is the paper good for fountain pens? Mark, it sure is. Half the fun with hobbies is figuring them out. Making mistakes is how you learn. No, I made plenty of those. Oh yeah, dude, same. I think, honestly, in a lot of aspects, making mistakes is fun. It's part of the fun of it. Because you get to like, oh boy, that was a doozy. Okay, I learned something. And then, yes, stagnation. We don't really get anywhere if we're kind of stuck in our own ways. That or make a hobby a job, then the fun is gone. Yeah, and see, that's like, I know that's where a lot of people have trouble with YouTube, because it's a hobby that it's something people start off with mostly as a hobby, generally speaking, and then it becomes their full-time thing. Which, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, and that's my dream, right? I want to make YouTube full-time. That's what I want to do. But there's also you have to have, I feel, in this space, a healthy acknowledgement of why you're doing it. They always say start with why. Like, why am I making these videos? My answer to that is to share my hobby, share my passion for this particular hobby with the people on the internet that also share this particular hobby. And that is, basically the forefront. Share the hobby, enjoy making stuff. I'm a maker, so I just kind of like whatever I make. But there's definitely a line where it can become harmful. I think it's just a matter of being mindful of all that and all those possibilities. And also, Tyler, you're so right. Proof that you're trying. Making mistakes is proof that you're trying. I think that's a really beautiful sentiment, because a lot of folks don't do for the sake of fear that they'll mess up. And you know, we're all human. We're all victim to that. I mean, I've done that. We all do that. I'm not trying to say I'm better than anyone, but it's something that we humans have a tendency to do, is fear failure and fear inadequacy. Better to try, make mistakes, than to do nothing. Yep. Don't remember where I heard it. It's a movie I heard it from. Man who never made a mistake, never made anything. It was Diary of a Wimpy Kid, actually. Man who never made a mistake, never made anything. Kind of regret that I didn't sit down and watch the whole thing. But that's okay. You know what? It is all good in the hood. We're homies now. It's cool. It's hard not to just comment when you know, as a reaction to something, you know? Like, I get that. I totally get that. I'm sure I've done that before, too. Where it's like, oh, bro, you know, what about this? And then you watch the whole video, it's like, oh, wait, you said that. I just didn't wait for it. But that's okay. Again, happens to all of us at one time or another. Let's see. Boop, 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 boop. Let's see. I see a lot get burnt out with what they're doing. Yeah, and see, that's kind of where it's important, again, to realize that you're allowed to take breaks from it, too. You're allowed to take breaks, and also do something that you would do. I need to switch cameras for this. I feel like for YouTube, it's important to do something you would do without the camera on, you know? If you wouldn't do it without a camera, then it's not going to be sustainable. My 14-year-old just watched some of this video as I have it on the tablet while cooking. She's headed to make her own notebooks now for sketchbooks. You've inspired her. Hey, that's awesome. All right. Shout out to Jackie's 14-year-old. That's so cool. That's so cool. Oh, that's so dope. Thank you for sharing that, Jackie. That's really cool. That's one of the crazy things that, like, as the channel's grown, I've come to realize is, like, you know, like like Jackie just shared. She's watching this at home, making dinner, and people see it, and it's such a cool thing because, like, I'm doing something that I find is fun, and it's inspiring people, and I think that's the coolest part about it. One of the coolest. There's a lot of really cool parts about this, but that is really, really awesome. Mark asked, do you have any Jotter notebooks? Jotter, like login Jotter? Or something else that I'm not sure I'm aware of. Like the brand login Jotter or something else. It's so cool making a notebook with the paper you want, like drawing paper or watercolor. Yeah, dude, that's the thing that's so dope about this is, like, I've chose this paper, but I can choose any other kind of paper whenever I want to. They actually have some of this paper that I use for the covers. A little bit lighter, but it's got like foil on it, so it's kind of like a metallic look. It's a little bit much for me, but I think it's so cool that that's available. It's like I could totally see a pocket notebook being made with a metallic paper. Login Jotter. Yeah, I've not used those, but I've seen a lot about them, and people seem to really like them. Oh. But yeah, with the whole hobby thing, I mean, it's important that you have stuff that you do for fun. And it's also important to take a break from the thing that you do for money. It's like I need a day off from my 9 to 5 that I work. I also need a break from videos sometimes. Like this today, for example, is a perfect example. I'm making notebooks and I'm streaming. I'm not shooting, I'm not editing, I'm not writing, I'm not making a video for the week. So in a way, I'm taking a break from the making of the videos. I'm not taking a break from like the channel per se, although there's definitely weeks I need that too. But in this particular instance, it's a good example of like, this is a thing that I love and this is a passion I have. breaks are still required. We are still humans who need time off from anything. Breaks are still required. It's like writing your own Linux distro. What? Hello, Ghost. Welcome in. I also made a notebook for keeping track of my beer tasting and whiskey and designed the cover for it. That's cool. Have like a Cheers themed cover or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. Oh, this is the green notebook with a Sharpie mark on it. Hey. So whichever one of you lucky folks gets this one, we'll know where it came from. You're having a chill day. Exactly, I'm having a chill day. You know, I'm still working on stuff that I want to work on, but it's a very relaxed time. And I still want to make content, so to speak, or make video of some kind on my channel, and streaming is a stress-free way of doing that. I mean, grateful because my internet is consistent. Okay, we're done with the green ones. Now we're on to the blue. No more 6-7, please. Ha. Did I use too much tech jargon there? The 6-7 will be forever, which means 2 weeks max in the modern internet. Yeah. I don't know, I feel like it's lasted longer than some things. Like some things just transcend trends, you know? Okay, RD, hey, all right, hey, buddy. Can't wait to get some. Heck yeah, I'm excited to get them out for everybody. I'm really psyched about that. Let's see, Mark says we talked about it last time, but want to do that linoleum cutout and print on the cover of a notebook. That'd be really cool. Kind of like print your own, make your own cover stamp sort of thing. Let's see. I think something literally just a number, no context. So it'll last long. 69 and 420 are tied to concepts as old as humans, so they have also. Yeah, I think that is entirely possible that you're overthinking the funny meme numbers, but also I agree with you in that 69 and 420, especially 69, are more substantial. You know, like they're going to last a lot longer than funny trends. Love your videos, by the way. Thanks, Ghost. I'm glad you do. Appreciate that. Thanks for telling me. Okay. All right. Should do a video on how to do that. You did that in high school. Yeah, I did it in high school, but I did it a very little amount. I could probably still do it. I just need to brush up on the skills, so to speak. Kind of get back into it. I don't know, it's not really something that I could do it, but it's definitely going to be, if I do it, it's not right, you know. Maybe one day is what I'm trying to say. I think it would be cool to explore different printing mediums, especially on my notebooks, you know. One thing I'm excited to see when these notebooks roll out is how everybody likes the... I'm claiming the sort of errors that I make, or like the slight imperfections. I am branding those, not branding necessarily, but I'm basically going to use those as like a human made these notebooks, and I'm going to promote that as a human aspect of this line of merch. So I'm curious to see how people will respond to the fact that there are some minor imperfections, and I'm openly admitting that and thinking about that and being conscious about that. I don't know. What do you guys think? You start with drawing the design on a piece of linoleum and then cut out. Yeah, there's like a little tool. It's like a V shape, and it cuts a channel in the linoleum. I would honestly pay more for handmade items. I know they're handmade with love and care than mass-produced. Well, that's good to know. Like I said, I don't want to make them ridiculously expensive, but I also want to, at the very least, recoup the money that I spent on the project. I get your logic behind it. When I got some of my zines in a bookstore, I had the same thoughts with the human-made thing. I feel like, I figured anyone who's picking them up would appreciate the imperfections. And I think with stuff like this, you know, especially with people who appreciate the analog and the, you know, the book binding and the this and that, people can appreciate the humanity of it. Especially because, here's another thing that I think in transparency, I'm trying to make it public to where, like, I am openly telling you, hey, I am not perfect. I am trying to make these as good as I can, but they're not going to be perfect, and I'm just telling you that straight up. I like to think that level of transparency will, you know, show through as I intend it. And Mark's asking where am I going to sell them. I am going to sell them on my merch store. So where you can go now to get my regular merch, like shirts and hats and stuff, that is where I will have these items listed as well. Gosh. Okay. And I'm thinking about selling them like I'm thinking about selling singles and then packs of 3 and then combos with the pen or something like that. I'm still working out how it's all gonna look on the storefront and how I'm gonna present all of it. And then Netflix says, yes, being public about it will naturally filter out the people who may not appreciate the imperfections due to their taste on products. Yeah, so like the people who, for instance, wouldn't appreciate the handmade nature, would know that they were handmade, and then, you know, that there will be imperfections and they won't even bother buying them. At least in my head. Let's see, cool design notebook similar to Travelers with Japan painting boat on a wave. That's cool. You got packaging. So, not yet. First, I'm going to figure out how I'm going to actually ship them. Like, I'm going to invest in some bulk shipping envelopes and things. And then I'm thinking about maybe like the packs of 3, maybe I belly band them, but I don't know. I almost think that's an expense I can probably live without, unless it's something that's like really, really requested. I thought about just slapping a rubber band on there and calling it good, honestly. I even thought about just mailing them in like a standard mailing envelope, but I figured that would be a little bit, you know, not so good as far as protecting the notebooks. Might do a bubble mailer, might do like a cardboard mailer just to see what I can find. Just try, let's see, ampersand, welcome in. Just tried making my own last week. Cut the covers about a 1/4 inch larger than the pages. So I also used a corner punch to round the corners prior to stapling. That's cool. Sounds legit. Mark says, called on AZ Koko Note Traveler's Notebook. Japanese Hokusai. Travel pocket notebook, blah, 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 blah. Very cool. On Amazon. Guys, gotta get one of those zine staplers though. It's super handy. It is. Oh my gosh, it's very, very handy. Most of the books I've ordered online came in folders filled with bubble wrap. Books are also paper products, so they're sort of similar, but it may not work. We'll see. I'm looking into some different things. So, that'll be cool. I'm looking forward to getting that. That's basically the next step after making the inventory. I'm going to price everything and then buy the shipping stuff. Well, probably get the shipping stuff and then price everything. We'll see. But I think honestly I really like the field notes packing. They always have those brown envelopes that whenever they send you just one pack, they have those thicker cardboard type envelopes. I really, really like those. And I'd love to find something like that. But I'm not sure. You're brainstorming passively. Oh yeah, you're good. Oh yeah. They're cool. I'll try and get these blue ones done here quick. What I'm thinking is I'll probably get the blue ones finished trimming, and then I'll start stamping all of them, and then I'm gonna probably cut the stream. So I'm getting a bit tired. Maddie's gonna get home soon, so I want to hang out with her. We've been going for good 2.5 hours, or almost 2.5 hours. It's been dope. Let's see, artwork called Hokusai Wave. You know, I don't know the name of it, but I think I know what you're talking about. Oops. I think I know exactly what you're talking about, even though I don't recognize the name. Because if it's a well-known painting, it's a wave. I think I recognize that one. That's cool. My wife got me some, for my birthday, she got me a couple of some moleskins. And one of the sets that she got me was this set based on a painting that Vincent van Gogh did. And it's really beautiful because the covers are like the pencil work before the painting was actually made. Have you made a leather cover for your field notes book? No, I haven't, but I have designed one. The one that I'm using currently, I've designed it. Boss Leather Co. James, he made it. Super nice piece. But I haven't made one, but I would like to. I think that'd be fun. I think it'd be a fun project. Also known as the Great Wave of Kanagawa. Cool. If you change up your... Gotta go to post for my mom. She sells on eBay. Cool. Molly, welcome in. What size are the notebooks you're making at the moment? Are they field note size? They're basically field note size. They're 3.5 by 5.5, but they're going to be a little smaller just because I'm trimming off some of the excess paper that's not straight. So they're cut to be 3.5 by 5.5, but they're really 3.25 by 5.5-ish. So they're essentially the same as a field note, just a little narrower. I may be mistaking him with a different artist. My art history memory served me correct. Van Gogh was heavily inspired by Japanese art of the time. Had access to imports. Fact check me. I don't know that for sure, but really, I'm not one who is often surprised by random fun facts. When this blade scrapes against this ruler, it makes my spine shiver. It makes my entire body just freak out. It always looks messy, but then I Just blow the excess away, that's fine. Are you off work today? I am indeed off work today. Very happy about that. Back to the old grind tomorrow, though. You are correct. He loved, let's see, Yu-Gi-Oh! E-prints. Cool. Mark says, see you next time. Thanks for being here, Mark. I do appreciate your time. Thanks for spending it with us. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Let me look it up so I'm not spreading false information. Alicia Duarte, hello from Brazil. Hello, welcome in from Brazil. Thanks for being here. I did that last one when I was sitting down. It's just not as ergonomically sound that way. I just feel like I have much more control standing up. I'm also able to look at the notebook straight on when I'm standing straight up versus when I'm sitting, I'm looking at it from an angle. Okay. We are down to the last, what was that, 5 or 6 blue ones? I think the one I'm going to be using next is a green one, because I gave my friends from work, I gave them blue ones, then I gave gave my sister a blue one, gave my brother-in-law a green one, my dad an orange one, my mother-in-law got a blue one, and my father-in-law got an orange one. So blue seemed to be a popular color, at least among my people. If you were to get one right now, let me know in the chat, what color would you get? Would you get yellow? Would you get blue? Would you get green? Or would you get orange? Of the 4 that I've made. Let's see. Favorite color, question mark? My favorite color is red. Andy says blue. Jackie says yellow. Alicia says orange, I guess. Okay. If you had to pick a color of notebook, what would you pick? Because I haven't found any good red cardstock that I'd like. But if you could get any color, what would you get? I would love to make red ones, but I haven't found the cardstock for it. Otherwise, you'd be seeing me make red ones right now, trust me. Did I misunderstand the question? Well, I asked if you could get any of the ones that I have available, the blue, green, yellow, or orange, what would you get? And then I asked if you could get any color at all, what would you get? I do like that every time. I get a nice crimson or maroon. Red's my favorite color as well. All right, cool. Yeah, I like the vintage field notes for that reason. I love the color, that maroony kind of vibe. The wine and gold combo. Green, no question. Of the ones that I have, cool. I'd love to get a wider variety of colors one day, but for the start, I don't want to overdo the inventory. You know, I want to gauge your guys' interest, and I want to see what does well, what doesn't do well, what I should stock more of, what I shouldn't stock as much of, and see how it goes from there. I also don't want to overextend myself, because this is a time-consuming process that would definitely be tricky to manage. Field Notes vintage versions, so amazing. Oh, they look fantastic, and they feel amazing too. How many pocket notebooks do you use in a month? I'm trying to use mine more. I don't know if I feel like it's a waste to write on something on paper. Well, as far as I'm concerned, there is no waste. It's just however you see it. I use, I think, between 2 and 3 a month, depending on the month. Yeah, I agree. It's never a waste of paper to write, because paper is a renewable resource, I think, generally. But yeah, never a waste to write. The blue ones have this sophisticated vibe to it. Green feels fun. Orange, for some reason, makes me think of a Blade Runner. No idea why. I don't either. But yeah, I'm looking forward to using my green one that I have set aside for myself. Okay. Got 2 more of these to cut. To trim. Let's see. Been trying to, trying to think like that for the past few weeks. Your videos have been helping a lot. Thanks for that. Hey, I'm glad I could help, Alicia. That's cool to hear. And Andy says, what are you working as, though? My 9 to 5, it's not something I particularly talk about as far as detail on the channel, just because it's best to keep that separate, so I'm going to pass on that question. Okay, 1 more blue and then we're stamping, and I'll take care of the orange ones later. Yeah, it's just personal life and channel life. I like to keep as separate as I can. Kind of how I mentioned about hobbies earlier in the stream, how there's some hobbies that are meant to just be for fun. My job is just to pay the bills, and it's not something I really am fond of talking about, especially on the channel, just because I like to keep that sort of thing private. Which I know y'all understand, and I do appreciate that. Okay. It's all the blues and the greens. And now we're gonna stamp for a little bit. Here's a big wad of paper cuttings. And, well, okay. Let us lock in. So the oranges didn't get finished. That's okay though. I got like 40 something otherwise, which is huge. We're going to stamp. So first I'm going to stamp the logo. And then I'm going to stamp the rest. I'm going to do logo first and then the other stamps after that, because the logo needs to dry. I want to make sure they all dry, that way they don't get smeared at all. And the stamping on these is all just pure eyeballing. Oh God, stamping your poor wrists. Hey, I'm alright with that. My wrists need a little workout anyway. This whole project is rather wrist intensive, so I'm not you know, it's not super foreign to me, the pain. You know, if you really measured it up, you would say these are probably pretty close to exact on all the stampings. I think I'm just a pretty solid eyeballer. Okay, the clamp's gonna move, so I have more space for the stamped. Are you making these for yourself? I'm making these for everyone. Once March 1st comes around, and there's gonna be a video for it. I'm releasing these publicly. Saw this in your videos. What's that Field Notes poster? So that is what's called a Field Notes press sheet. That is how they print the covers on a big sheet like that, and then they run them through and quality check them, and then they have them cut. So that is actually one of the uncut. They sell them on their website, NetHQ and stuff, but they have sheets of uncut Field Notes that they use as posters and stuff that they have available for folks, which I think is really cool and such a unique thing. I'm gonna need to get another one of these GareTheBear stamps before long, I think I could see it self-inking. I wonder if I could re-ink it. I probably could. Or I need to see if I can get that ink out of there. I don't know if I can or not. Let's see, I'm a die-hard Moleskine Cahier user, but your notebooks look pretty cool too. Hey, thank you. It's always cool when you get a die-hard to say something like that. I appreciate that. Extremely sick. Yeah, it's really dope. I love it. I think it's so cool. I thought about getting another one. They have the covers, reminds me how paper money is cut. Yeah, for real. Paper money is a very cool thing. But at one point I thought about getting the XOXO 2019 edition as a press sheet, which they still have on their site. But those covers are really dope. They're like the watercolor pink and blue kind of vibe, pink, blue, and white-ish. If we could, let's see, let me get the camera switch because this is kind of a cool angle, or kind of a cool look. Here we go. This is what I'm working with. This is where they're all going for the time being. Oops. There we go. Gotta just keep on stamping. Okay. Oops. That looks really cool, all the notebooks set up there like that. Let's see, you can refill. I've done it to mine just to remove the ink pad and apply ink. Learned from a YouTube video. Okay, that's good. Because I saw at the Office Depot today they have like liquid ink in a bottle you can use to re-ink like a pad, like a sponge stamp pad. And I was just wondering if it worked for this particular stamp. Let's see. Do you write in a diary as well? I don't think you've said that in any of your videos, or if I missed that. Well, I mean, yes and no. The way I consider it, diary and journal are synonymous. I have a journal by my bedside that I use sometimes. I also do like morning pages, which I would very much consider a journaling experience. Also not morning pages, gratitude. I do a gratitude journal, which again is a very similar experience. Okay, the green ones are all logo stamped. But I would say yes with a question mark. I can see us chatters. Oh yeah! There you guys are. Hey chat, what's poppin'? Yeah, let's see. That changes. Okay. This is really fun. I love doing this. This, like, the paper part and the cutting part, it's kind of monotonous because also this morning I did it without chat, but I just knew, like, I've been doing this all day, just so you know. But I knew that without streaming, I could get things done faster, and I really wanted to use today to make a big dent on the inventory. Also, Adora Bloom, what does your clock say? It says, it's a quote. It says tick, 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 and it's this clock. And I stamped it with my logo, 2026. I got this clock in January. But yeah, I leave it down here. I don't put it on the wall. That way when I'm working, I can see it up close. So I have that physical relationship with time. Let's see. Trying out my journal system since I'm kind of new into the journaling community. Started November 24. So I'm figuring out what works for me and what doesn't. That's good. I'm glad to hear that you're doing it that way. Obviously, there is no wrong way of doing anything, but like, I feel like with journaling especially, it's such a personal act that... Also, I just realized you guys can't actually see me stamping. Oopsie. But it's such a personal activity that you can't just do it based on how somebody else feels about it. You have to do it based on how it works for you. So like, do a bunch of different stuff, try it all out, and then once you find what you like, do that, and then keep trying stuff, because you never know what sort of evolution your process can go through. Thank you for showing us. Hey, I got you. Insightful quote from your clock. Hey, dude. My clock says that every day. Says it all the time. No, that's actually a little nod to the Three Stooges. Because barely you can see, but I have a Three Stooges poster here and one here. I love the Three Stooges. Always a hoot. And one of the jokes in that show is, it's like, you know, they're trying to figure out what time it is. Like, what does your watch say? And it goes, tick, 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 tick. And then he smacks him or something. And that's always a funny one. I always find that gag to be hysterical. So, I used it for my clock. Actually, that Three Stooges poster, the big one, has been in my office has been in my office / studio for many years, probably 4, almost 5 years probably it's been in my studio. My sister and I were out thrifting one time, and we were at this particular spot, and this vendor had all this stuff, and one of the things they had was a Three Stooges poster. It was framed. It was really nice. It was 20 bucks. So my sister was like, dude, if you don't get it, I will. And I'm like, how about it's a studio decoration? Because at the time my studio was so new, I hadn't really decorated it at all. So yeah, field notes and pocket notebooks in general have never failed me. Like using it for grocery lists and brain dumping. Dude, that's awesome. Brain dumping's so good. Like, one of the things I've come to recently is I love thinking on paper. And I want to make a video about that because that's a really important part of, and it's honestly a huge part of how I actually use my notebooks, because everybody always asks me, like, what do you put in there? What do you put in there? You fill them up so often. What do you put in there? And a lot of it is just how I think, you know, like I use it to think. It is a tool for thinking. So like if I'm trying to figure something out, I just write it. And I'm like, well, this is this, and this is this, and if I do this, then this happens, and so on and so forth. Okay, the greens and the blues have the logo on there. Evan Hansen says, love the videos. Thank you, Evan. Do you know how many pocket notebooks you have? I did a video on that not that long ago, actually, and I think this is just for field notes. I have like 140 something. But pocket notebooks in general, I have probably a lot more than that. But now we're on to the link stamp. Okay, so we're going to just assume these are all dry. That's what I'm going to go with. Get them kind of consolidated a little bit. Okay, not to overshare and get personal in public. Whenever I journal, I end up ruminating on negative thoughts, so I don't do it that much. I prefer writing down random thoughts throughout the day. That's an interesting way of looking at it. I think it definitely just depends for some people. I think also, when journaling, if your goal is, I guess it depends on what your goal is. Because, I could see how it would be easy to ruminate on negative thoughts with that. I think it can also be a valuable place to confront and, look at those negative thoughts and see this is not actually what's true, Networks, what if after you write negative thoughts or before you write something positive that happened? Yeah, there you go. Alright. I've never tried that, Jackie. I will next time I journal. Thanks for the idea. Hey, look at us helping each other out. Something I've done, sometimes the stamp won't properly go all the way, so I'll go through and fill it in with pen. That way the information is there still. Because it's also so much harder to re-stamp the thing. I love it. A small idea of carrying a pocket notebook inspired you to create 60 pocket notebooks. Oh yeah, and I'm going to be making more than this. It's just this is what I've got today. I find it serves me better to turn negative thoughts into art or fictional story. That's a good idea, and that's a thing too. It works differently for everybody. You got to find your own thing. Got to find your own way of dealing with all that stuff. I think it's valuable that you are aware of that too. It's a big deal. Can you show us the stamp, please? This is what's getting put on the back of those notebooks right now. The official GareTheBear pocket notebook and the channel link. I think the stamp not being fully all the way looks kind of cool. Looks like a classified government document. Ooh, that is cool. And the way I look at it, I'll write whatever I'm feeling because I know I have a box full of journals with instructions to burn it after I die. Yeah, that's cool. There's a brand, I guess it's a brand, it's called Burn This Book or Destroy This Journal or whatever. So you write in it, and then after you write in it, you tear it up and destroy it. How did you do the stamps? Ordering them online? So they actually, at Office Depot, they have these where you can plug in the letters on your own. So it's like a little rail kind of thing, but you can plug in the letters yourself, so you can make it your own self. So it's not a custom order so much as a DIY stamp. It's actually called the Do-It-Yourself Stamp Kit, so yeah. So I have this stamp, and then two others. The specs and the name, start and end. The GareTheBear logo, Andy, was actually, that was a custom order. Got that from Vistaprint, I believe. But the other ones are just Office Depot. Oh yeah, definitely worth looking into if you have something that you want to stamp. Because this was something that I could have done, handwritten or whatever, but it would have taken forever. So, I'm not doing it that way. I have found that if I rock the stamp a little bit, we avoid that uneven stamping. Because also the way the notebook's folded, it may not apply to the whole thing. We got dedicated stores here in Greece for stamps like this for some reason. I think that's awesome. I kind of wish we had those. Let's see, Angelica says, your videos help me learn English. Thank you for replying to my comment. Greetings from Colombia. Well, I'm glad that my videos help you to learn English. That's a comment I've heard several times, actually. I think it's really cool that that's a thing that is, that's just cool that that's a thing. I think that's awesome. Let's see, we're running a little bit out of table space. I'm going to consolidate the mess here. Let's see. Boop. I want to be extra cautious and give these extra time to dry. as much time as they need. I also got a letterpress stamp kit where it's like all the letters of the alphabet, uppercase, lowercase, or capitals and lowercase, different symbols, and they're all attached to these little wooden blocks. And just kind of a neat little thing. So you can kind of do letter by letter what you want to do. They also print business cards for you, stuff like that. Yeah, for sure. Is it that store you're talking about? Evan says, I might get one. Didn't know they had stamps that you could customize. What about ones with art on them? Could they be customized? So they also, so here's like just an example of one of the pads of characters they have. They have little stuff like .com and email or fax or www dot, stuff like that. They also have little, you know, envelope, clip art kind of thing. But really, I don't know. I know Office Depot also does like a custom stamp order thing, where it's like same day, you know, you can give them a artwork or whatever, and they can get it put on a stamp. I think they have some kind of machine in there that can engrave onto a stamp. Okay, that looks good, but I'm going to give it another second or two anyway. But I've recently found a fascination with stamps. I think they're so neat. Because of this project really has gotten me really into the stamping game. I think it's so fun and so cool to like have your own stuff on a stamp. They specialize in custom jobs for more corporate stuff. That's cool. Also have a similar set of stamps to the one you mentioned. Yeah, I got it at Barnes & Noble. It's just like a little wooden box. It's got all the letters and stuff in it. It's really cool. I featured it in my most recent stationery haul. It's available for channel members right now. It'll come out like in a couple of weeks, I think. It's actually so cool. I had no idea. Oh yeah, it's dope. If you ever are in a spot where you can get to an Office Depot, they have all kinds of cool stuff. This stamp also, or not the stamp, but the stapler I was using earlier in the stream, I don't think they have it. They don't have it in store, but they do have it available to order. I think Office Depot, perhaps, or was it Staples? It was Staples. Same store, different name, essentially. Hey, viewer for a bit, first time tuning into a live stream. Oscar, welcome in. Good to see you here. Thanks for tuning in. Quick question. Do you ever buy old Field Notes editions from eBay or the Field Nuts group? It's fun hunting down old sold out editions. It would be cool. I don't want to spend the money on it, quite frankly. That's something that I don't... I think it's cool that the market is there. I just personally wouldn't want to spend the additional, because they always upcharge them so crazy. So I don't feel like that's something I want to do. Didn't get quite stamped that way. Okay, let's see. One day I want to get one of those stamp rings where it 24/7 uses my signature on official docs. That'd be so cool. Where you just like stamp your own emblem on stuff. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Look at the chaos. There's so many notebooks here. It's so dope though. I love it. Let's see. Field notes are so pricey compared to some other pocket notebooks with good paper for fountain pens. Maddie, hey! I hear you beating and banging out there. Also, gang, that's my wife. Say hi to my wife. Hi, Gare. Staples, field notes, or stitching? Moleskin question mark. Which do you prefer? Why? Thanks. Thank you, Scott Solomon. So, at least I don't really have a preference for staples versus stitching. I'm making these with staples because it's cheaper that way. And so they could be cheaper for people that buy them. But yeah, I don't really have a preference. I like field notes because the cover designs are really cool. Those are my favorite. Maybe not now because I'm making my own, but those are my favorite pocket notebooks that I use. Moleskins are also really, really nice. I think they actually cost more than field notes, and the covers aren't as cool looking. Let's see. All right, Andy says, "Hey, Maddie." Hi, Maddie. Everybody says hi, Maddie. Putting dishes away. Oh, cool. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate you. Everybody says hi. Hello, everybody. Okay, so now you're a celebrity. I mean, as if you weren't already, but now on the stream, you're a celebrity. Got 2 more blue ones to stamp for this one, and then I'm going to switch to the other stamp. We are 2 stamps away from being completely finished. For the day, at least. Got a lot more where this came from in terms of orange notebooks, because those haven't even been trimmed yet. Let's see, I purchased moleskin eyeglasses recently, and of course I had to go out and purchase a couple notebooks of theirs to match the green case. They have glasses? That's fancy. Okay, that's done. Name, start, end. I'm gonna test something real quick. Somehow I can find, I'll use my notebook here. Okay, so that will need to be, what is that? Oh, that's the mess. Ugh, that's annoying. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna lock that down. It's a good thing I didn't do this on any notebooks yet. I'm gonna just dry that up real good. Then when it applies the ink, it should be the way it needs to be. Because I got, whenever I was putting the pieces on this one, I think the E, I dropped it in the ink, so it got really inky, and so it's been acting funny, but it's okay. Let's see, gonna make some bread. Oh, your bread is so good. Oh my gosh. My wife makes fantastic bread. Hi, Gare, how much will a notebook be? That's a good question, Scarlett. I don't know the answer to that yet, 100%. I would like to get, because it all depends on how much it costs, you know. So it'll be. I want to make it cheaper than like field notes, for example, because I think cheap and good quality is something that needs to be filled. So I would like to do that, where I can make it like I can make these as high quality as I can, and also as affordable as I can. So I don't know yet, is the answer to that question. Is Maddie a pen-abler? If you're talking about like her enabling my stationery addiction, yes and no. It's a channel expense, so that helps. But she is very, very supportive in everything that I do, no matter what it is. There we go. Name, start, end. That's where I'll do it. In that top left inside corner. Do you see yourself in the future having a wall top to bottom full with these notebooks as if it were a library? That would be so awesome. I would love that. Let's see. Are you selling them in a 3-pack? I'm thinking about selling them as a 3-pack and also a singles. You'll want a decent ROI. I appreciate you're setting the ceiling to cheaper than field notes. Yeah, I want to make it cheaper than field notes. I also want a decent ROI because, you know, the main thing is I'm not trying to like make $1 bajillion, but I also would like to make some money off of it, at the very least to cover the initial expenses. Because this is all just the first drop. Because there's going to be multiples. Because I'm one guy. I don't have a factory. This is my factory. It's me in my office. But yeah, it's definitely something that I am working on. M4 ID, how much is it, and will you ship to the UK? As far as I know, I'll ship everywhere. But shipping is going to be something that, again, when I figure out pricing, I'll work that out, because I don't I don't think I'll offer free shipping unless it's like an order over a certain amount. But again, that's something I've not yet figured out that I will work on in the coming weeks. But I don't have a price set yet. I'd love to ship everywhere, but that's also that's another expense, things you got to consider. So, got it. Cheers. Thank you. But long story short, I would love to ship everywhere. And what I'm thinking, actually, this is almost guaranteed, just because I am, again, one humble guy. I would only ship orders out like once a week, maybe, because I have a job, I have a wife, I have a house, I have the channel to make videos for, so I have a lot of things that, you know, I can't just ship orders every single day. So I'm thinking I have a set day every week that likely my day off. In the morning, probably I will go out to the post office with a shipment of orders and have them shipped. See, yeah, if you're going to be doing international, likely shipping across the pond, that'll get pricey. Right, and so I'm not going to do free shipping for that, especially. I'd like to do, you know, buyer pays shipping, unless it's, you know, a certain amount that you order. I don't know. Again, I haven't really figured out all the logistics on that yet. Also, Maddie says, Toby's offended you didn't mention him. I also have a cat who is a little bit of a drama queen, but he's a good boy, so I'm sorry, Toby, I didn't mention you. I apologize. Everyone say hi to Toby. He's probably right outside my office, or in the kitchen hanging out with his mom, actually. That's probably what's happening. He'll probably bite my ankles whenever I come out there. Did you change up your hair? Everyone says, hi, Toby. Oh my gosh, I just heard him say something. Tobias. He's such a good boy. Oh my gosh. Oh, kitty. Oh, Toby, he's so cute. Yes. Do you think you're close to doing YouTube full time? Remember you mentioning it in a video a bit ago. Oh, Maddie says he's right outside my office. Toby! Ah, he probably can't hear me. Well, he probably can't. He's just ignoring me because he's upset with me. Am I close to doing YouTube full time? Okay, so that number is different for everybody. The way I will say doing YouTube full time is it's going to be if the channel and all of its revenue streams equals what I'm making at my 9 to 5. So as of right now, it is about a quarter of the way there, but it's a heck of a lot closer than it was last year. And with all your support on these videos and otherwise, merch, Patreon, memberships, the works, that is one step in the right direction. But this has been sort of my dream for the past, close in on 7 years of the channel. It's crazy. But yeah, so I'm getting closer every day is basically the answer to that question. Great to hear. You deserve it. Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate that. Oh, I don't know if you heard that my back just snapped something fierce. But yeah, I'm really just working as hard as I can, basically, to make it happen. Is your cat perhaps developing a chapter-based RPG about going into magical worlds? Sorry, I don't think the reference lands. I'm sorry. Ugh. I don't think it landed. How will you arrange it? By color, theme, date, the ones with the most valuable ideas? Also, do you worry about security since it's personal info? Or anyone in your family can go in and read? For my pocket notebooks, I don't really care. At the end of the day, it's kind of whatever. So, I don't really, I arrange it by date. That's how I've got my ones that I've filled, that's how I organize them. And that's how I will always organize them, because that just makes the most sense in my brain. Okay, so the ones with the green have the start end and stuff. Now for the blue. Sorry. I want to know. Here, I'm gonna. Okay, that does. Okay. It doesn't need to be immediate. I'm just trying to figure out how long these things take to dry, because I'm, limited on table space. I could spread out down to the shooting table, but I don't really want to. I do really dig how well made these stamps are. Like, even though they're custom and they're, they seem to be like the kind of thing that would be flimsy and fall apart on you, really, really nice quality. So I'm happy about that. Let's see, Scarlett says, I tried making my own notebook. It didn't end very well, so I respect your grind. I've definitely tried several different things before this, so this has been like a year in the making, because I made my first one a little over a year ago. Actually, probably almost 2 years ago at this point. And then I've gradually just kind of made little ones here and there. But then I thought about doing this, and so I've, quote, perfected making it. Scott says, I enjoy watching your, quote, craftsman videos. Do you ever use any other materials in wood? Could you try stone? So the thing about wood is I've known how to work with it. Anything outside of that, and like paper, is pretty foreign to me. I'm always down to learn, though. Like if I came across a situation in life where I had to do certain things with certain things, especially now as a homeowner, it's like I pretty much, if I need to fix it, I will learn how, regardless of what the material is. But I thought about diving into some leather, because that's like a kind of a hybrid between wood and paper, in a way. It's also like textiles. I've done textiles too, like sewing and stuff. Very rudimentary though. My wife Maddie is more the seamstress. She's very talented in that way. But yeah, I appreciate that you like those videos. Those are always fun to make. Those can be the biggest pains in the rear to make, but also those are always really fun. I enjoy those. Especially when, like, the last one I did, I built that bookcase. When I'm able to sort of tie it into my writing and notebooks and stationery theme. I think I'm gonna go grab a bite to eat and work on some creative projects. That's so exciting. Have fun chatting. Bye-bye. Hey, always a good time. Thank you for being here, Netwix. I do appreciate you spending your time with us today. Always fun. Hope you enjoy your bite to eat and your creative projects. Best of luck to you. And now the last bit that I'm going to do is the specs. And then we're done. Oh, man. Okay, so we're going to go back, inside back cover. It's kind of nice, oh, see, that's interesting. Okay. So the width of the cover is just a little bit wider than this stamp, so I'm going to have to be careful not to go crazy here. There we go. Oh, I need to get 2 or 3 clones of myself who know exactly what to do and then just we'll all do the same thing at the same. We'll all do different steps at the same time. Have like an assembly line going. Here's a spec page again. It's kind of a fun little. Just it's minimal in the back. It's not anything crazy. It doesn't take up the whole page. Just minimal information. It's cool. I like it. Oops. I had to throw some pen corrections in there. Gotta make sure I'm getting that stamped all the way down. Don't want to have to do that. Don't want to have to do that all the time. There we go. No, it didn't do it again. What the heck? That's annoying. Okay. There we go. It's a nice one. I almost wonder if I should stamp it the other way. But then that would be real goofy. How much space do we have when I stamp that? Okay, so I have like a 1/4 inch to mess with. I think I'm gonna do it like that. Line the edge up with the edge of the cover, and I think we'll be good. Oh yeah, there we go. That's better. Okay. Stampy, stampy, stampy. It's nice. Looks good. Looks good. Looks real good. They also have black cardstock, but for obvious reasons, being these stamps are black ink, I cannot do that. Though they do have red ink, but you know, I don't know how that would look. Scarlett says, I've been using the same field notes for 3 months. I'm only on page 26. I have no idea how you fill yours so fast. Well, it's just different for everybody. I know I've actually slowed down in the recent months, because normally it was like basically a week per. Now it's probably closer to 2 weeks / 10, like between 10 and 14 days is my typical range. I filled my first field notes up in 5 days, and my record is 4, I think. Actually, I have it. So 8/9 to 8/12, so it's 3 days. 9, 10, 11, 12, 4 days. My record is filling up field notes in 4 days. I actually had an idea for a video trying to fill 1 field notes in 1 day. But it would be like, I would try and fill 1 field notes with 1 video idea, and that video would be written in that, like the entirety of a field notes would be dedicated to writing 1 video. And then that video would be either made separately, or the video that would be about the filling the whole field notes would be the video that I write in the field notes. I don't know. But I would love to challenge myself to fill 1 in its entirety in 1 day. Oops, I think that would be so cool. So now I'm gonna get all after these are all stamped, I'm gonna probably rubber band them all together, because that's what I've been doing with the other ones. And I'll cross them, or I'll crisscross them, that way they close evenly and they stack well. Got 5 more to stamp. Been streaming over 3 hours. That's cool. I always dig long streams. There was one time on my gaming channel I streamed for 24 hours straight playing Minecraft. That was insane. I don't think I'll ever do that again. If I did, I would want to do it with friends. So I think that would be far superior. And also I would want to make sure the stream didn't die every 6 hours, because I had like, you know, 4 or 5 different segments of stream, because the stream kept dying on me. How's the weather where you live? So far, right now, it's fantastic. It's been mid-upper 50s on average. It's been really good. Scott Solomon says, Gare, I have started doing the unspoken. I'm ripping pages out of my cahiers and not from the back of the notebook. Oh, no. But you know what? Do what you want. They're made for you. You bought it. Do what you want to do. Who says? You know? Who writes the rules? Ain't nobody writes the rules as far as I'm concerned. You do whatever you want, friend. Alright, we're good. Okay, so the green ones are done completely. Stamped, trimmed, ready to go. That's exciting stuff. Okay. Now it's time for the blue, and once the blue is done, we are done, and it's time to rest. I don't think I've ever ripped a page out of a field notes or a moleskin cahier or whatever. Not saying you can't, I'm just saying I've never done it. So I don't really know. I've like, sort of as a hee-hee kind of thing, I've torn a page. I've not torn it out, I've just a tiny little rip. Just to give this other angle some love. Here we go. I'm gonna zoom it out a smidge though so you can actually see what I'm doing. Hello. Just want to give this angle some love. Change it up a little bit. And welcome in. Says I love the green color. Thank you. The green seems to be a popular one. I'm glad I made a bunch of them. Which I'm going to make a bunch of all of them. I just need to do it. Jackie says, I've seen videos of people ripping each page they read out of novels and it makes me want to rescue each book. Oh, that's brutal. I could see the aesthetic in that, but I agree, it feels criminal. Like, what? Also, what if I need to go back and reread a page? Like, what if something doesn't make sense, like that I've read, I gotta go back and reread something to give myself more context, you know? Like, there's just so much wrong with that. But, do what you want. Do what you want. Scarlett says, how many pages in each notebook? 48. 24 sheets, 48 pages. Counted them myself. But, yeah, I wanted to make them specification-wise as similar to field notes as I could. Also because I enjoy that size. I feel like 60 pages in a pocket notebook is a lot, like a moleskin. It's good, but I feel like it's, especially the way I like to use them as like a quick, you know, change it out every couple weeks. I like to have fewer pages. But, you know what? Everybody has their preference, and everybody's preference is valid. What's your favorite pen right now? The Pilot G2. Specifically, the Pilot G2 Limited. The metal. Boom. That's the wrong camera. This one. Jeez. But yeah, that's my favorite pen. Oh, that. No, it didn't. Just kidding. We're good. After this one, we have 8 more. Jackie says, I buy used books just to know they were loved. It's interesting to see in older books any notes or highlights others found intriguing for them. That is really cool. That is something I do when I read. I do have a red pen on me at all times. And I'll usually just underline stuff that I find significant, or I'll annotate. But that's kind of rare. Most of the time I'll just underline stuff I find interesting or significant. Hello there. We're back over here. I like having the multiple different angles. It's totally, I mean, for this I could just set the camera up and point at the thing, but I find it more interesting to look at if there's a couple different angles of the same thing. And I've got 2 cameras, so why not? I always stamp the date and write the location I bought it at the front of books I buy. That's cool. That's really cool. I always like hearing how people do things in general. What's your favorite GSM? You have 8 seconds. 90, because that's what I'm using for this paper. Second favorite is 300, because that's what's for the covers. Boom. Acerage? Sorry, I'm mispronouncing that. Should be working, but this is more interesting. You know, that's the second time I've heard that today. Thank you. I'm glad you find this interesting. I do too. It's fascinating. It's a lot of fun. This one and one more. Boom, there you go. That's the ones. Blue is done. Are you aware that Vision Elite gel pen is the best penny pen in the world? It is definitely a banger. I have one. Use me first, because I have a pack of 3. This is the one I'm working with. Super juicy. I do like this pen a lot. Okay. Gang. Boom. Boom. And probably good. Oh yeah, we're chilling. Okay. So that's probably, let's see, 4, 5, 5, 10, 15, 20 blue ones. There's more green. 5, because I used some extra. 10, 15, 20, 25 green ones, 20 blue ones. Boom! We have the same stapler. I use them for my own notebook brand called Not Buck. Hey, that's cool. I love Vision Elite, but I can't get any of the micro size near me, only the mediums. I think I'm using the medium. It's 0.7, I think. So, yes, medium. Have a great evening, all. Thank you for your videos, Gare. My daughter has 3 sketchbooks made already tonight from your inspiration. Wow, that's so cool. Tell her I said good job. Tell her I said keep it up. That's cool. Sad I joined so late, but next time I'll be here when it starts. All right, Scarlett. Thank you. Why are you making notebooks? Are you writing down special secrets 67 times? No. No, I'm making these to sell as merch on my channel. This is my channel logo. Bam. This is my channel link. Maybe. Focus up, please. Thank you. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, I'm making them for merch so people in the community can own them, and also so I can use them when I need to. Perfect. Also, I made 25 green, 20 blue, and 1 orange. These are so epic. Fantastic, dude. All right. That's all for today. Thank you guys so much for being here. I always appreciate all the chats and the everything. Thank you again to... Man, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Thank you, Ravens, for the super chat. This is all chats. Wow. I had top chat first. Probably G2 pens in different colors. They haven't arrived in my country yet. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Yeah, they're super fun. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate you all so very much. Thank you for hanging out with me while I made some notebooks. We got 46 Not a bad number. Not a bad number. Thank you guys for everything. I appreciate you all. I hope you have a good one. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.